it foggy outside. All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yo.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington. And the man whose stories got stories, the hardcore icon, the Sandman. Hack, how the hell is it going today?
I'm hot as shit, dude. This weather is killing me. I'm ready to die leaving my house.
It's not even that bad.
It's 89. We just checked. It's not that bad today.
Okay, or is anybody here 60? Has anybody here been trying to kill themselves with any kind of drug or alcohol that he can find for 45 years?
No.
My body is not ready for anything over 72 to 76 degrees.
Drink water.
Yeah, hydrate.
Drink a gallon and a half a day right now. I'm down to.
Exactly what you say to me. Drink
You're down
water.
to?
Yeah, it used to be 2 gallons a day.
Why did you cut the other half gallon out?
Because it was excess. And the doc told me what I was doing was I was pissing out minerals and stuff in my body that I needed.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, it's good that you're to the one and a
But
half.
my liver is the last time I was in rehab, like a year and a half ago, whatever. For what I drank, the lady that worked there for 9 years, and had only seen one person come back with the liver results that mine were.
Oh, all right.
I'm not even sure how that's possible, to be
Is it a-
honest
I
with
know,
you.
it
but-
doesn't-
Drink
make any-
water
it doesn't
because
make
your
any sense.
liver filters everything in your body. The more water you have, the better the filtration system is.
Okay, that's a good PSA again from Mac this week. We have a liver.
I will
You're
never
pissing-
see you drink water ever.
If you're pissing, shut up.
Literally, you carry around a jug, but I've never seen you once take a sip.
Does 99 bananas make water?
Yeah, is that a thing?
I drank a gallon at the game Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I drank some of Oliver's because I ran out.
Ty showed me a great picture of you at their softball game this weekend.
With my parasol.
You look like a mummer or something, dude. We're going to have to put that up on social.
Yeah, I
That's a
look
great
over
picture.
and he's got the umbrella, like, just sitting
Dude,
in his
there's no
chair.
shade.
Umbrella.
So we're playing. We started 1 o'clock last week. It's like 85 degrees when we start. We're out there for 3.5 hours. Zero shade. You better believe I'm bringing a parasol.
I had to take a picture of it, so we're gonna have to send it out there and like send a picture.
Yeah, we'll get that up on Instagram and Twitter. Guys, I know the NBA Finals finally wrapped this week. Boston took care of business.
Boo hiss.
Boo hiss.
I
hiss.
just bet Dallas, but I don't care about Boston.
Yeah, well, the stat I think that I heard, the only silver lining is that the last 6 teams to win the NBA Finals have not made it past the second round the following year. So, if you
that
want
damn leprechaun will find a way.
Yeah, but
well,
didn't
if they play us in the first round, then we're done.
But actually, didn't I say this last week? I said
said
I would
this
be
3
happy
weeks
if
ago.
they won because
you
they
did.
ain't going back.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
you didn't have any stats to back it up.
Yes,
but-
I have hack stats in my head that just tell me that NBA champs don't repeat.
Well, I think Boston
Yeah, tell that to Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay, that was 30 years ago.
and Curry.
and Kobe.
Yeah,
Curry less than
that
10.
bitch.
Yeah, but they're not those teams.
True.
We're just fucking.
Yeah.
But they might be. I mean,
I know
dude,
they are strong and they're not losing anybody.
and they're not losing anybody. That's
Right.
the thing. It's
So I'm just saying, what's Milwaukee doing in the offseason? Are they looking at somebody like we're looking at Paul George?
well, they still have Brook Lopez. They still have Middleton along with Giannis. And,
I know Lopez has been in the league for 20 years now.
Isn't Lillard a free
I was going to
agent?
say Lillard's
No.
a free agent. No. What's he got? 1 year left?
He re-upped with Portland before the year
That's
before the
right.
trade.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
They maxed him out.
So he's got
then
a couple
they were
years.
right.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Now they were.
What about Portis?
I don't know what Bobby
I
Portis'
think he might
contract
be a free
situation
agent,
is.
right? Or did he
I think
resign?
he signed a deal. I mean, Giannis was hurt. They had some injuries, stuff like that. So they might try and just run it back. But
Their problem is the coach.
They're old and they're slow. Like with Lopez and Middleton, they ain't getting any younger. Their bench ain't getting any younger.
And Doc ain't getting any better.
I
No,
forgot.
dude, he's
Doc
lost
was there.
more. He's been up 3-1 in more series than any other NBA coach ever, and have lost them.
And how about him blaming Philadelphia fans last week? Did you guys hear him that? He was on some
No.
podcast. He took a couple shots at Philly fans.
What
Doc.
did he say?
I'll have to find it after the show.
Dude, he
but-
should have been talking about Ben Simmons.
But
Yeah.
he said, what didn't he say? He thought the hardest place to play was at home.
Yeah,
in front
yeah.
of our fans.
That's what he said. Yeah,
Like when
It's
he-
just-
yeah.
come on, dude. Like, get out of here. That crowd always supports the team.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
Dude, okay, sorry. We boo you when you're playing like shit.
yeah.
I mean,
and we
is
love
that is that like so bad?
No.
Like,
Yeah, but that's somebody that would say something as like a hot take on Philadelphia, like saying that saying, yeah, remember when they threw snowballs with batteries in them on Santa Claus? People love to bury Philadelphia,
They
you
do.
know what I mean? So, but he was here, so I don't expect that comment from him, knowing how full well that our fans support our teams.
Oh, we live and die by. I mean, look, we support you thick and thin. And take a look at the Phillies right now. Like, that ballpark is packed every night. It's
dude, a
packed for day
Wednesday
games.
afternoon, a Tuesday afternoon, you're getting 40+ thousand
90
people
degrees.
out there. You're playing well. You're going. I just can't. I don't know. It's in us. I don't know what other people do around the country, their fandom or whatever. But when your team plays like shit, you boo.
Yep.
Like, what are you supposed to say? Like, oh yeah, get him in the second half, boys.
Yeah,
like,
but you have to understand something. Any team that's on the coast somewhere, I don't care if it's go all the way from Boston, all the way down to Miami, then go across the bottom of the Florida coast, up to Tampa Bay, then over to New Orleans, and then you got then you go over to the California coast. People have more shit to do than watch sports when they live on the coast.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They have less reason to care.
Yeah.
We're here in Philly. What the hell we're doing? We're watching the Phillies.
We're a
They're
couple
taking their
moves.
kids to the beach after they get done from school.
True. Absolutely.
I understand. Yeah, I understand
People
that.
don't live it like we live it here. Chicago can live it like we do. Detroit can live it like
I know,
we
but
do.
nobody gives Chicago shit. Nobody gives Chicago fans shit. It's all Philly fans shit. I don't, dude. After we won the
It
Super
all
Bowl,
goes back to the Santa Claus and the snowball
no,
incident, and
no,
he
we
was
are-
drunk.
We
No,
are
but
tough too.
He was a shit-faced drunk Santa Claus. That's why he got pegged with snowballs.
terrible looking.
yeah,
Santa.
exactly the
And
Yeah.
it was like a backup Santa Claus. He was like 18, and he
No,
was
it
like
was
shit
horrible.
faced.
And the team sucked then too. So
But, like,
we
I
should
don't-
have booed him. And
we-
we should have thrown batteries. And
We won the
snowballs
Super
at him.
Bowl in what, 2017, and then the opening game of the next year, we were getting shut out in the first half, and we booed the team going into the first half. It's like, and they're like, "Oh, we
We're-
just won
we're
the
tough.
Super Bowl." It's like, no, dude, you're playing like shit. I'm at the game currently, and you're playing like shit. I'm booing you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I paid
Like,
money for this, and you're not performing well.
Right,
I'm
like,
angry.
it's not like, oh, well, they just won the Super Bowl, so good job, guys. It's like, no.
Well, and you also have to understand too that Philadelphia has been part of like National League sports for 100. What did we lose? Philadelphia Phillies lost 10,000 games quicker than any other team. All right, so Philly's been around forever. The Eagles, the Eagles before that have been around forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's inbred in you when your dad, your grandfather's the fan, your mom's a fan, your dad's the fan, your brother's the fan. It's not like that across mid-America.
Absolutely. No, you're totally right. And the other thing I would say about Philadelphia sports is we kind of take that over to our wrestling too when it comes to live wrestling. And you saw a lot of that with ECW, the passion and the real reactions of crowds
If you
to the
fuck up,
performers.
boo.
Right.
If you put on a good fucking match, yeah, look,
Yeah.
dude, you'll be the best fucking person that they've ever fucking seen.
Yep.
But and think about this, like we're Philadelphia, we're a Northeast like power city. We've got one Eagles Super Bowl. The Phillies have won what, 2 championships in
Two.
50, 60
Sixers,
years.
83.
The Sixers, what?
Flyers 74, 75.
Yeah, we're
Dude,
starving.
we have not won. Like, yeah, our teams are good, but like, think about a big city,
That's
like
a good point,
big Northeast city like Philadelphia. Like, like, can't we just have something? Like, how many I've seen 1, 2.
Two.
I've seen 2 in my 34 years since I was born in 1989. I've seen 2.
Yeah. No, it's It's definitely not good for Philadelphia sports fans. We're a bunch of losers.
Seriously.
Screw you, Boston.
We're just butthurt, I guess.
Yeah, I'm tired of Boston too. They went a 5-year drought of not winning.
I know
a
they
title.
get Brady, they get the Bruins, they get the Celtics. They like.
New England is not a Boston team to me. They're just not. They're a Connecticut team.
No, it's
that whole area. Yeah,
it's that
tied
kid.
in.
It's that kid with the poster when he goes to the championship parade, where he's like, "I'm 15 and I've seen 13 championship
Yeah,
parades.
screw you, kid.
Now I'm like 28 and I've seen 24 championship parades probably now."
Yeah,
fuck that kid.
Fuck that. Fuck Boston. Anyway, we got a couple of shows here to cover. This past weekend was WWE Clash at the Castle from Scotland. It was from Glasgow, Scotland. They had a huge
Great crowd.
Yeah, the crowd was great. I mean, that building was packed.
For 11,400 people, you could easily thought there was 60,000 people in there. Sometimes how loud they were singing together. So that's
Dude, the
European crowd.
overseas crowds
So
for
much better.
WWE this year have been awesome to at least watch for like a viewer aspect.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier and better to watch.
It does, and I know we were talking about that with a couple of the other shows that they had. The show in France recently, Backlash, and the Chamber show that was in Australia. These crowds are just so much better than the U.S.
Yeah, well,
crowds.
you have to understand, when they're watching soccer, when they're watching cricket, just look how slow soccer is and cricket is. They're chanting the whole damn game. That's what Europeans do.
Yeah, it's cultural for them.
Yes, totally.
When they
All
go
the
to these events.
songs, all the everything.
Yeah,
It's been interactive there forever.
yeah, and
It's not just because of wrestling.
right, and it really does add to the shows too. Like, not that the crowds that they get in the U.S. aren't lively. It's just a whole nother level.
The first match, though, I mean, come on.
Yeah, how could you
The
not?
first match, they just like took over.
So let's get into it. The show opened up. World title match between Cody Rhodes and
Great
AJ
opening,
Styles.
considering it. What else you have left on the card? Great to open with that.
Well, I think they had to open with this because Drew had to main event. So opening with this was the right call, like you were saying, Hack. I think it was totally the right call.
But
for the
nobody
show.
back in the day would have ever done that.
Because it was the
10
big
years
title.
ago, you would have never, ever, you would have put that on maybe before last, the second to last.
Okay.
But then that takes away from it for me. Like, if you got an I Quit match, it should be way more brutal than everything else on your card.
Yes.
So you don't want that brutal-ass match right before your main event.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of the match overall? I thought they had some really good work. They went
It's
close.
those two. They can't go wrong.
They went close to 30 minutes.
AJ fumbling with the chain was the biggest thing that I could come up with, like, the whole time.
He did have a little,
a
lot of weird spot there. And then the other thing I noticed, I don't know how you guys felt about this spot where Cody's passed out and the ref won't stop the match. To me, it's like if he's out, the match should be over at that point. I know it's an I Quit match, but I've seen, Bret Hart, Steve Austin, for example.
Well, you do the count then. I'm like, well, why aren't you counting?
Right, something.
Get up to your feet by 10. If
Something
not,
at that
that's
point.
over.
Right, at something at that point. I didn't like how they let him get
That's
back.
Cody's problem. That's Cody's fault.
For-
Those two booked it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was no agent telling them that's exactly where it was going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see many agents telling Cody anything there. You know what I mean? So that's his idea. So that falls on him.
Yeah, I don't know how you felt about that, Ty.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I thought very similar to you. I'm like, well, isn't the objective to kind of beat your opponent into oblivion? And then, so I understand what they're saying, but I also thought that I'm like, well, dude, if you can't say anything, shouldn't that be it? But I mean,
What did you think, Ollie?
I mean, I hated the finish.
Yeah, I didn't hate the finish, but I hated the post-match. So the finish is Cody's got the steps, and Styles, he's going to hit him with them. He's going to.
I loved it.
I liked it too because
I freaking loved it.
yeah, I liked it too because it's like the threat of that violence is what made him tap.
But then they killed it when he hit him afterwards
Right,
with it.
I didn't like that.
Why?
And he's a baby. He's a straight baby. So, like, for him to do that afterwards, yes, if you're a Steve Austin or somebody, I'm fine with it. But as a straight-up babyface like Cody is, I didn't like that post-match. So,
No, he's like, Mom, this is for you. I don't think it came across the TV so well.
yes, that's,
You're exactly
that's what
right.
I was going to
Yes,
say.
that is what it
yeah.
was, I guess.
And they even missed the spot because they were watching the mom. They only came back after the hit just happened.
They did miss the camera cut on it as well.
During the match, you notice when the guys went in to the back, and they started fighting like in the producer's office or whatever it was, like
Whatever. Yeah, that was the setup room.
the guy.
Gorilla.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Gorilla.
Yes.
And
I don't believe so.
Oh, you
Well-
think it was a fake gorilla?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Gorilla's not like that.
Well,
Gorilla's right behind the entrance.
I'm just
where
saying,
you
was
go
right behind the
Yeah, I
entrance.
know, but it was there like off into another
Yeah,
room. They're
well-
not going to let them do that to something that is creating the show going on. And in Gorilla, there was never, when I was in Gorilla 1,000 times, there was never computers and monitors anywhere near me.
all right. Oh, I'm just saying. Did
Might be a
anybody
little different in
notice
2024.
that? Did anybody notice that not a single person in any of those chairs moved?
Yeah,
or
they didn't
did
sell it at
anything?
all.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Thank you.
Didn't try and get out of the way. Like, didn't do anything. Like, that was one of the notes I had. I'm like, okay, they went back there, and all those guys are still like typing. Like,
It's like when they go through the wall on the left side of McAfee. When they go through the wall, there's like some girl sitting there like this. And there's these dudes brawling right in front of her.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, dude, well, shouldn't they be like running out of the room or trying to get out of the
Absolutely.
way or like that? That was.
Yo, what was the spot that caused Cody to bleed?
I think it was a fake blood packet.
So do I.
I think people think it was blood packet from what I've seen
And
on
I
Twitter.
think that's absolutely horrible.
Okay.
I do
And
too.
disrespectful to the wrestling business.
Run the razor, Cody. Come on, man.
I don't think it was a blood packet.
You don't think it
I
was?
just think he nicked himself and got it because because I've seen that before with guys where it stops bleeding during the match. And then when you're in a headlock doing all this, the shit gets rubbed off. I don't think he kicked heavy enough. I do not believe it was a packet at all.
I'm not 100%.
His dad would roll over in his grave.
He would.
And I think Cody would know that. Cody would be like, nah.
Well, Cody also had no qualms about running the razor at all as a wrestler.
Right.
No, he
Previously.
had an abrasion on the top of his head, and then I just don't think it was as deep as the original blood said. Maybe he added some after or whatever, but
Yeah, but I didn't understand where it came from either.
Yeah, I don't know, Ali. That was definitely weird.
Good call, Ali.
Post match, the Bloodline came out, and then making the save was Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Looks like it's setting up a big 6-man tag, maybe for Money in the Bank. I don't know. And then you did get the little tease where Randy just gave a little bit of a look to the title on Cody's shoulder, just enough of a tease for them, probably leaning towards SummerSlam. Maybe, I don't know. It's a little breadcrumb
That's
tease.
a lot of talent in a Money in it for like a 6-man. I mean, besides like the two, like KO and Randy. I mean, wouldn't you think that they would be guys that would be in the Money in the Bank match? I thought the same thing as you, that it's going to be a 6-man. I was just so sure it was going to happen in Money in the Bank, but
I mean, it could very well just be a SmackDown main event or something. But
did they roll that into into SummerSlam?
what, the
And
6-man?
use that talent?
A 6-man?
Yeah.
I mean, you
That's
could.
kind of what I thought originally.
You could, but I think at SummerSlam you'd probably want to do a Cody single defense. Either
100%, yeah.
Either against Solo or Randy, I think, at SummerSlam. So I'm not sure which of the directions they're going in, but I saw the glare that Randy gave the title, and that's clearly where they're leading to down the road.
while we're wrapping this up, two things I had written down here. The table spot, horrible, because AJ clearly saw Cody with the chair.
Yeah.
And that was like totally brutal. And the handcuffs. So Cody gets put in the handcuffs, and then there's a key, which never happens. He takes the handcuffs off. Now, when Cody took them off and put them on AJ, I would have loved for him to put the handcuffs on AJ
Swallow the key?
and visibly hid the key in his trunks.
Swallow would be
Yeah,
better.
Well,
wow.
yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but like visibly put the key away, and because after all that shit that Cody got, the cane, the chair, the this, the that, Cody just tie him to the ropes, get him back. That's it. I don't think you needed the 3 crossroads. I don't think you needed all the rest of the other stuff. Visibly tie him up, visibly hide the key away, and just, if you're gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? Like the ending, like the finish with he quits before he even gets to, like, just go full barbaric and just beat the piss out of them until you know what
There's
I'm
a
saying.
lot of different ways you could have went to it,
Well,
and I think
the
you're on
third
the one.
crossroad, I thought Cody landed more on the chair than he did
kind of
on the third one.
Well, he's taking care of
And
him, but
just so anybody that's listening, you better believe right now that the handcuffs are gimmicked handcuffs like I would buy my kids at a dollar store back in the day. You don't actually need the key. There's a little lever, or like on the part on your wrist right there, that you just slide the lever and you can open
I
it
love
up.
how they actually gave him slack on the chain, though.
He did have a little.
You know,
He had
like they were
You
different
need that
handcuffs.
slack.
Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. I like how they gave him that slack because you can do more. But I wish he would have just tied him up with the handcuffs, put away the key, and just went to town on him. Like, if you're gonna have the Cody Rage moment,
Right.
have that be the Cody Rage moment and just unleash on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought the work was really strong overall. I think if I had to give
It's those two.
I think if I had to give it a star rating, it would be in that like close to a 4-star level. I don't know if it was quite 4-star because I thought some of the work in the match, like you said, with the table spot and some of the other things.
They didn't need to do the building,
Right.
I mean, those two dudes can work their ass. They could have done an hour in entertainment.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because it's
I
like,
know
what was it
both
really
of them.
for? You just went in a little loop and came back around and you didn't do
Why?
anything.
Because it's
For
an
what?
I Quit match.
To kill a couple minutes, I guess. I don't know.
To show people that you actually did something, and I actually
Yeah,
had-
but nobody asked anybody to quit in Gorilla.
yes,
Was the ref
that's a
there?
fair
No.
point.
You know,
But
why wasn't the ref following him?
He should have been.
he should have been. But I'll bring that up
Yeah,
later.
but it's like if you're gonna
in-
do that, that's where somebody
Yeah.
comes back with color to the ring or something like
Why
that,
not?
or something like that's when you
That's
do
a
that
good point,
spot.
too.
Not who knows.
What would you go star rating, Ollie?
I'd give it a 4.
Yeah. Hack? 4? Ty?
3.
3. Okay. So that was the opener. I thought that they really had the crowd the whole time and certainly gave the fans there a really good show for an opener. Up next on the show was the Triple Threat Women's Tag Team title match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill dropped the belts to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Isla.
Dude, I didn't know how to say it the first time either. I was
Isla. And Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark were also in the match. This one never got going, and they had a lot of miscommunication.
Because of why?
Too many people in the ring, mistimed
Because
spots.
of Jade.
Well, I want to talk about that, Hack. So there's the obvious big botch where she's doing the springboard. And I noticed Styles had trouble in the ropes.
Wait a minute. Let's go a little bit before that.
Can we go before
Even before that?
Okay, yeah,
Okay, let's start. Yeah, Ty, what do you want to say?
Bianca and they did the same exact spots of their tag match with the Kabuki Warrior.
Yeah, it's still gonna
The
get
corner, the Bianca corner spots where
Yeah.
she went in and she did the flip, then she did that, then she brought him in, did the. It was the same exact spots that they did in the previous match. Bianca did. I mean, she's a nice worker or whatever. But she can be, dude. She could be the best. I think Bianca can be the best. She's a little mechanical for me, like the way that she does
And I
things.
hate how she's always like looking at her opponent like,
A little too
come on,
telegraphed.
like-
A little too
Right,
telegraphed.
that's why I'm saying like she's mechanical with that, like because every time her opponent charges her, she's like ready to do the move, like already.
Yeah, it
And
looks
it's
like a trust fall kind of thing, like a little like a play almost.
Right.
Like, it
No,
doesn't look
she's like on the back. She's like on the middle rope, ready to do the backflip. Like, yeah, come on, like come after me, so I can. It's like Jesus Christ.
But there, I could say the same damn thing about the main event.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? There's a thing when you're selling to know you. It's like you can't just stand there for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Boom! I'm gonna get hit off the top rope.
Nah,
you
yeah.
got to be down selling. Just have it on the corner of your eye right there in your peripheral vision. All right, she got her foot up on the first rope. She got her foot up on the second rope. Now I'm gonna start to feed up for slow.
yeah, but heck, it's also on the person jumping. Like, dude, you gotta jump.
Well, yeah, you don't go up there like the
And
Macho
wait for
Man
it.
doing the elbows, which we'll talk about later. Yes, you're not going up there to showboat. You're going up there to win this freaking match.
Right. Yeah, and look, I think there's a lot of things that were just off about this match. The one thing I got to point, though, about Jade with the springboard. Why? Jade has a look and a feel to her Why is she even doing a springboard
Dude,
spot?
her look was so cool.
She shouldn't
she
do a
looked,
springboard.
With that new black eye makeup.
I know she looks
shouldn't
awesome.
but
It's
listen, just
sucks.
because she can doesn't mean she should. Not everybody needs to wrestle that same kind of high fly style. She should be doing strong power moves, and she shouldn't be jumping off the top rope
The
like that.
problem is, who the hell is teaching her?
I don't know.
Get that right out of her head. I said, well, and we'll get into, there was another problem with the ropes, too.
Yes, I think there was an issue with the
Did anybody
ropes.
hear about this? I didn't hear anything, but I thought once the second one happened, that we're going to hear something about the ropes being loose.
Well, I saw a clip on Twitter where the ref, I believe, is going up to AJ Styles before his match, and he's informing him something about the ropes. So I think there was an issue with the ring that night because there was
All right,
multiple.
so didn't AJ have the piece of metal? Who had the metal thing that they turned the ropes with? Am I in the same company right here?
What, like the turnbuckle?
Yeah. Was AJ using that?
I don't-
in that I Quit match?
Nah, I don't think
I
so.
I don't remember him using that.
That
But,
would have been great if he pulled it out and started tightening the top rope.
but I think there,
Could it have been like super hot and the ropes were sweaty?
there was something with the ropes that night, I feel like. I don't know if it was the transport of the ring, whoever was doing the ring. I don't know.
But Jade's is very close. In the middle, it's more bouncy, obviously. The closer you get to the edge, and the foot that missed was the closest one to the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Well,
Baller.
if you noticed, the ropes were more like the honey barbecue twist Fritos.
Great analogy.
Wow, that sounds like a comment I would make.
No, but they weren't like a solid like sausage casing. They looked more like the honey barbecue
Yeah.
like Frito twists
All right.
where they had like
I hear
ruffles
you.
have ridges. Like those, like they kind of look like that. Now, like thinking back on it,
I would have bet $1 million we weren't
But,
going to mention
I don't know,
potato chips on the show.
during the middle of the match, for some reason, Jade is so big and so strong, and she's down for I don't know 15 minutes in the
But
middle
they
in the
did
middle
hit
of
her
the
with
match.
like 3 different consecutive things, like the other girls
Yes.
after they had a powwow and said, we got to do this.
I was
So
just
the-
like, I just caught myself being like, "Where's Jade? Like,
Yep.
where's Jade at?"
I think there was too many people, and I think it should have just been a tag team versus a tag team.
Well, the
There-
reason is they didn't want him to job. So I think that's part
Yes.
of why. But the other thing I want to talk about with this match was
Convoluted.
Jade tapping out to Shayna Baszler. If you notice, and the announcers were talking about it, she tapped in the choke. She gave a little, like when the choke was on her, and that wasn't the finish.
No,
and then
that wasn't a tap. That was her telling her to ease the fuck up.
well, but it
That's
looked
how
like
I
a
saw
tap
it.
though.
Okay, so Monday Night Raw the next night, Shayna Baszler comes to the new champs, and it was like, I don't know if you saw, but I did tap out Jade on the one. Now I don't know if that was them rewatching it and her just saying like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was meant to actually be a tap, or on Monday Night Raw that following Monday, they're just like, oh well, we saw this, we got to cover it up
Right.
somehow. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, and if it was a work, it would have been a little bit more obvious. I think, like you tap,
right.
but then
'Cause
you pull
I
your
didn't see it
hand
live.
off for 1, 2, 3, 4, then you bring it down again. Pull
I
it
didn't
off.
see it live.
Yeah,
Did you see it live, Ollie?
I did. I noticed it.
Yeah,
live.
I didn't see it live.
Yeah, but the finish was Dawn stealing the pin, and so they get the tag team titles. It got. What were you gonna say, Ty?
On that finish, Jade getting German suplexed.
I couldn't write more horrible thing. Oh, I think I just stopped writing stuff.
No, but like
Jade out too long.
But you're-
Bianca's 450 was great.
It was.
Yeah,
Which it was like a knee
Sloppy,
drop.
I got.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
it wasn't.
It was like a
knee
450 knee drop. That was awesome.
Dude, the whole thing was botched. The
Yeah.
whole thing was botched. But Jade's your big superstar, and she's getting a pin stolen, and she's getting German suplex.
Oh,
out of the
fine.
way.
Maybe she's getting sent a message.
Maybe you're right, Hank. I think they're gonna
That's
get.
how. That's
You
how
know
I
what I'm
looked
saying?
at it.
I'm like, to steal the pin from somebody, it's not like they just like pushed her out of the ring or like whatever. Like, no, she got picked up by that chick.
It was a
German
lazy. I
suplex.
know, but to me, it was a lazy way to like get out of that. They could have done something better.
That's
got
what I'm
over
saying.
the same point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, push her out of the ring, like, do something.
yeah,
but
dude.
Yeah,
Maybe
the-
she was getting sent a message.
The pop and the reaction for the unholy union afterwards was really cool. They had their family in the front row and everything. That was a big reaction for them. And then when they won, I was like, oh. My radar was up
like
for
you said,
Scotland.
But like you said, they didn't take. Bianca and Jade didn't take the pin.
They did not take the pin, which sets them up for a rematch or just like an out clause, later down the road. Like, we didn't job here.
But when as soon as they win the Scottish, the girls, I don't even know their names. When those two win, I'm thinking right then, Drew, absolutely no way, and what's her name, no way.
I was thinking the same thing too, because
Right then, I'm like, all right, that's what they gave him.
they gave you your here's your token Scottish pop
Yeah.
for the night. And,
And did anyone else notice that they were all wearing the same color gear?
it was very similar, actually. Now that you
I'm
mention
used
it.
to that.
Like the black and
Yeah.
like it was all the same.
Yeah, it was actually pretty similar.
And I'm like, dude, what are they like? What are they doing? I don't know. It was all black, and then Bianca and Jade had like a little bit of like gold or whatever. But I'm like,
Yeah.
what are they
Jade
doing?
always has the best outfit to me.
Oh, she looks tremendous,
The
man.
last couple
looked
times
great.
I seen her, freaking outfit's great.
Yeah.
Dude, she looked great.
Whatever
And that's
seamstress
what
is coming
pisses
up with
me
everything
off,
for
Yeah,
her.
she always looks great.
She
Yeah,
does.
and then she has to wrestle.
Yeah,
I know,
the match
she
starts.
looks
It's like me and my entrance. People were like, yeah, Hack Lounge entrance killed the place. But then he had to wrestle.
If anyone should understand Jade Cargill, it should be you, Heck.
Literally, that's dude. But that's what pisses me off because she's
That's a good one.
got everything. It's just like God, man.
No,
it's
she
like-
doesn't have everything. She
No,
doesn't stand
no.
tall ever. She's
No,
always in
never.
a crouch.
Yes,
she's
yes,
like
100
5'6". She
Yup.
goes from 6 foot to 5'6" once she's inside the ring.
All
Yeah.
right, so last Queen and King of the Ring we reviewed. We want to do a little Jade progress report. Better, worse, or the same? I'm going to say the same.
It's all so bad that there's not
Honest-
a difference in the band.
There's no
to me.
improvement.
Honestly,
Okay, that's how I can say no improvement.
Okay.
The only-
Especially after doing all the same spots that Ty fucking pointed
Yeah.
the
out.
only reason I would say worse is because I feel like there was more botches in this match. Like before,
Yeah, but you also had the Kabuki Warriors which could cover some shit up more than the other girls.
Yeah, that's
true. Very
I'm
true.
gonna give a no answer until I see her in a singles match again.
Yeah, it's almost unfair to judge a little bit. I see what you're saying.
Well, it's
Ollie.
clear why they took the freaking tag team the belts off them. They saw the writing. Granted, they were in Scotland and they wanted. We'll see what those chicks do going forward. But
See, I think they took it off him to give him back to him. I think that they're going to get back at SummerSlam.
Perfect girl to put her against is Piper.
Oh, that'd be a great match.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
The
that's a good
perfect
call.
girl to put her against is her tag team partner right now.
Yeah.
People that
agree.
can carry her.
I think that's the direction they're going.
Oh,
is Bianca
and
versus
her
Jade.
absolutely eventually is the direction, I think, but I don't think they're quite there
good
yet.
call, Hack.
For a star rating, I don't know what you
That
guys
just
give
gave
it.
it a rating,
It's
too.
like a 1.5 for me.
Yeah.
1, Ollie. Hack, what are you giving it? Hack's going 4. He's sticking to his 4 score.
We will no longer ask Hack his star
No,
rating.
everything's a 4.
And it was my idea to do a star rating.
Up next on the show was the WWE Intercontinental title match between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. I thought that they had some really good work here. I think that this was probably match of the night.
I agree.
I thought, killed it. I thought it was fantastic. Sammy went over Chad Gable here. You had a lot of this stuff going on with Chad and Maxine and Otis. Just kind of added another layer since the last time that they met and set up the big spot on Monday where Otis finally broke up with them. But what did you think of the match, Ollie?
I thought it was awesome. I think every time or every match I'm watching a Gable, I think he's getting better and better, especially with like the in-between stuff with the facials, with dealing with Otis and Maxine and everything like that. He's doing awesome right now. So I think they did a really good job like pushing him, and I think he's doing great. I know Hack hates Sammy, but Sammy killed it once again.
He kills it as always.
As he always does. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was best match of the night, no doubt.
I love the Chad Gable gimmick where it's just like, it's a wrestling trope, but a guy bullying someone and then that other guy standing up for himself like always works. And I was really happy to see Otis get that huge reaction on Monday. Ty, I don't know, what did you think of the match?
I know they kind of coincide with one another, but I thought the storytelling was better than the match itself. But like I said, I think they kind of coincide with one another. But if you can tell the story, you don't have to do anything in the match. So I think it was flawlessly done. Like everything that they did. I feel like they gave this whole time. Otis got screwed with too many times to kind of make him look a little like it was too many times. Like he should have turned by now.
That's WWE though. Let's bleed this shit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he should have turned by then.
It's funny you say that, Ty, because I almost think there was some more meat on the bone there. I think I kind of do too. Like I kind of think like like Virgil, $1 Million Man, like just straight bullying the guy until he finally stands up to you, and you could have drugged this out. I think till SummerSlam maybe. I don't know.
Oh, Vince would have.
You think Vince
Back
would
in the
have?
day when Vince was, yes, I've seen him do stuff like this. I remember.
But
when,
Otis he loses credibility.
He would a little, but I still think the pop.
No. See, not because people. It's very prevalent in people's mind right now, like human psychology and stuff like that. You know what I mean? How everybody's like, oh, wow, they're depressed, they're this. People get that. So people get like it's the Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
Well, and the Stockholm syndrome is when you have a captor, and after like 5 years, you start liking your captor. That's what the Stockholm syndrome is, and I think that it was played out great. You could have done this on Monday night and had 10 times less of a match because the people aren't remembering the match. The people are remembering everything else.
Yep.
You needed to do nothing in that ring, but they worked their asses off.
As long as you put it together.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
And I'm getting way more respect for Sammy. What a great sell on his arm.
It was awesome.
Great sell. Dude, I'm so sick of guys doing... Dude, don't sell your leg. Don't sell your leg for 20 minutes and then super kick the guy with the same leg.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of seeing that shit. Just sell the arm, sell the neck, sell the shoulder, sell something else. You know what I mean?
Sell the ribs like you did.
But the angle to me was great, and I love the ankle lock, the spin over. He takes her
the ankle stuff
her
is
leg
awesome.
out.
Yeah.
And then that's when the best moment happened. He takes her leg out. Otis is on his knees. He's to the left of Otis on his knees. Otis starts his face first. Then they both look at each other. And they just look
That
at
moment in
each other.
time.
Frozen Nancy Sullivan. Frozen moment in time.
Yep.
Actually would call it. Then they got up off their feet and they still held it. Great shit.
Yeah. No, it was. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was the best match on the show. They did have a lot of really nice near falls, like you
I got
mentioned.
flying headbutt in there, but I can't remember. Was there somebody that went to the top rope?
Gable hit a flying headbutt. Yeah.
Gable did.
Okay, did anyone ever seen him do the top rope before?
Yeah, I've seen
okay.
him.
That's why I was
He goes to
wondering.
the top rope. I don't know if I've seen the flying headbutt
I don't know
before.
if I have either. That's a good.
I've seen him do it. Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen him do it.
Yeah, I don't know what's next for Sammy, but obviously it looks like we're
But
gonna
what's next for Gable?
get a Gable and Otis feud,
Well,
or
he's
is Gable
dead.
and the Wyatt? Yeah,
If
he's
you-
dead.
if you've
He's
watched
dead.
it.
He's dead as of this recording.
hate.
We'll get to that later, I guess. We'll have to talk about that a bit. But yeah, I'm with you too, Ollie. I did not care for that. Up next on the show was the WWE Women's Championship match. This was Bayley and Piper. Scotland's Piper Niven. I thought that they had a really nice match here. It was a quality match, but obviously I think kind of similar to the Cody and AJ match. You kind of knew who was going to go over here, so that kind of took me out of the match a little bit, I guess. I did not expect for Piper to get the win over Bayley. I thought it was quality work, but it just wasn't really something that like took off for me.
Yeah, it was decent. As much as I can say. Now, so Piper, all right, so she's the heel, but she's from Scotland.
Right.
So she's coming out, and the crowd doesn't really know how to react on her entrance, and she gets like semi cheers, not really many boos, this, that, whatever. So she goes into the ring. Bayley comes out, absolute zero reaction.
Yeah.
The crowd is absolute
Flat.
silent.
It was the flattest they were all night.
Like, Piper got more of a reaction, and the crowd didn't even know how to react to her because she's a heel, and she didn't get any. Like, Bayley came out, and I think if you look at it, Bayley's shocked. Bayley doesn't even know how to react. When she comes out of the thing, she's like, all right, let's go.
Somebody gonna say something.
Like, there was no boos, there was no cheers, like, there was nothing. Like, there was absolute zero reaction, which... That was the first thing that caught my eye.
And then they get in the ring and they're doing the ooh, hey, Bayley.
Yeah, the Bayley thing.
And I'm like, what is going on right now?
I was taken aback by that too, because it was like, are you with her? Are you not? 'Cause
Yeah,
you're with
like,
her?
who are they with right now? Because you expect, even though Piper's the heel, for them to be popping huge for her
But yeah.
when she's coming out.
Yeah, but I had never really heard anybody get like, dude, it was nothing. Like, not a boo, not a cheer in the entire thing. Like, it was flatlined.
Yeah,
I was
thought-
like, dude, that's
Yeah,
As a
Bailey,
match-
Bailey looked caught off guard by it. Now that you mention it, because I caught that too. I'm like, she's like waiting for somebody to do something.
As the match went on, though, Piper really did get the crowd
Yeah,
going. They were
yeah, she
they were
did.
really invested in this match as the match got going.
As they should have been.
Yeah,
the
it was.
crowd.
Yeah.
It was a show.
Right.
It was a showcase for her.
That's why it was so weird for me to see like their initial reactions when they came out. I was like,
She hit a great Michinoku driver on Bailey for a near fall that got the crowd really into it. And then Chelsea Green came out wearing that luchador mask that popped the crowd really, really big. Bailey got the finish, got the win there, and then retained the title. I don't know what you guys would give it a star
Let me
rating.
school you guys. Hold on.
Okay, Hack, you got something? Go ahead.
All right. You got Ty got it, and I didn't think any of you guys was going to get it about what's going on when Bailey should have known 100% going out there what her reaction was going to be. I didn't expect it to be as crickets as it was, but she has to know that from the door. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason. What they should have really done was they should have put Bailey out first. And then the other girl's going to get a reaction. You know what I mean? You don't put, you swap those two. Make
Well,
sense?
champion always comes out.
nah,
Not me.
dude, WWE doesn't always do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
they
me.
don't always do that.
They should have switched it, and they probably won't make that mistake again. But then you guys got it, but you didn't get it because the match they could have changed that match up on the fly. You know what I'm saying? Bailey should have worked that whole match like she
Heel?
was a heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could have got out of it in a U.S.
And
crowd with
they
her
won't-
still being over.
Yeah, they should have changed that. But the whole time I'm like,
Good call.
oh my God, what are they doing? Why aren't they changing everything here?
And we've seen over
And
the
I know
last...
they're good enough. Piper
Yeah.
can work anywhere on the planet. Apparently,
Right.
she's been taught by Steven Regal.
Yeah, and we know that Bailey can work as a heel, too, over the last
Why
2
would you
years.
just switch it the hell up for the match?
You could have done that easily, and it probably would have been a better match, too.
If I had, you know, because all the referees have a microphone in their ear, I would have been telling them switch.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a different direction. Maybe, who knows? I think it probably would have been
No,
a better
it
match.
doesn't matter. It's for the match. You guys know it's for
Yeah.
this.
Right.
It's just for,
It's this
it
show.
doesn't matter. Freaking tomorrow, you change it up on Monday night if you want.
Right, you're not saying
You know what I
turn
mean?
Bailey heel.
It was to me. They both made a mistake, and they could have got way more out of the crowd and
Yeah.
made Bailey look way less like shit.
Yeah,
You could see she was off in her face in the
Yeah.
match.
a little.
Her face, she just wasn't there. It was like she was thinking more than just being Bailey.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
a big difference. You can see it in people's eyes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I would love to see these two mix it up again, maybe in front of a different audience. Where
I'd like to see them do a strong match.
That's a great
they would be
call.
really good.
They'd be great in a strong match.
Piper is really fantastic.
And you could have changed that to a strong match. If you're not smart enough on the fly to change up the spots, to change up that Bailey's giving the heat to Piper instead of Piper giving the heat to Bailey, which would have been if it was in the United States. You know what I mean? The stronger you go, the less work you have to do, but you can still tell the same
The
story.
thing is I don't even think Piper was working heel. Is
No.
the funny thing.
Chelsea
You know what
spot-
I'm saying?
The
Like,
spot with Chelsea
well,
was
she
definitely
can't.
heel.
That was
Yeah,
heel.
but
Yeah,
heel,
that
heel.
was definitely heel. But
Yeah.
after she got tossed, like I don't think Piper was really working heel, which is yeah. But that's a good call by you. Very good call by you.
I don't know what you guys would give it for a star rating. I would go like 2.5,
Yeah.
around that.
I agree.
Okay, Hack's going 4 for them.
I thought you were going to stop me.
For score.
I'm going to ask you every time. See if we get something different. Maybe eventually you'll give something
The
different.
four scoreman.
Hopefully, maybe in this Great American Bash pay-per-view, you'll have some real ratings. Up next was Drew McIntyre going up against Damian Priest for the WWE Championship. Man, this was an interesting match. I don't really think it was that great of work, and I absolutely hated it.
Didn't have to be.
It didn't have to be because the crowd was so into
Did
it.
not have to be.
Early on, I think Drew was. Damian was going for a dive on Drew, and then got tossed in the ropes, caught up in the ropes.
Dude, that's like the weird, like, you never
was
see
stuck.
that.
He was
Dude,
stuck,
like,
stuck.
What I know, it stuck. Did you see the bump that his shoulder took right on the
Awful.
corner of the apron? He
Awful.
could have hit his head. He could have broke his neck.
I
I
was
thought
very,
he did hit his head on the first.
Dude, he could have got messed up on that bed.
yeah, and I was very worried about his leg being in that rope for
I
that
was
long.
way more worried about his shoulder and his head. The leg's no problem.
The one thing I did, I mean,
It's a rope around your ankle.
while the ref was trying to get him unhooked,
The ref was stupid. He shouldn't have have even tried because the tensile strength right there is ridiculous.
I was going to say that.
A gorilla might have had a problem.
So I got to ask you, Hack. One of the things I noticed that I really liked was Drew Mack is working on the fly right now. No one is anticipating for this to happen. So he goes over to the announcer table. He starts like slamming the table a bit. And then he just starts throwing in some shots at Drew Mack. Have you ever been in the ring with a guy where something goes wrong with the ropes and you're like kind of stalling and trying to get them out or get fixed or anything like that ever?
No, I've been lucky.
Okay.
And I'm like with Sabu or something, I never had a problem. But earlier in my career, I wasn't a top rope guy much. I would do a leg drop off of it, you know what I mean? But I've had the top rope break before my match, and then they've had to shut the show down for 45 minutes and shit like that.
And then when you were like working that next match, what did you have to like test the ropes out? Like,
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't even run the ropes in the match, or
no? I just wouldn't test them.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if as a worker you would like do like a whip to the ropes or something real quick in the match. Just
well,
to
I'm
test
not worried about the thing somebody shooting me in and going over because I know how low my hips are when I'm hitting the two ropes. You know what I mean? My hips right on the second rope.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Drew finally got him unhooked, and I could tell you he looked like he was hurting big time in the match. He was. I don't know if he was selling the leg or he was actually hurt because there was a lot of times.
Selling.
God, seriously?
Yeah,
he got you on that?
Yeah, he got.
How
on
many
that.
times did he use it when it was at his convenience? All those kicks, every kick he does is with that leg.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was actually genuinely like hurt there. Maybe I was marked.
The moves. What isn't what got it for me? It was watching his posture when he stands. Is he leaning on the one leg, more than the other? Is he walking all right? He was fine. He was selling the leg.
But to me, he's got a weird lower body. To me, it's weird. You know, he doesn't work out his legs.
He's got a long torso.
Yeah,
he's got the ollie torso.
And it's like he's a little pigeon-toed or something. You know what I mean? His lower body looks just totally weird to me every time he runs the ropes, does anything.
He's Gumby.
Yeah, it was
Gumby Priest. Yeah.
Gumby. I thought that they had a decent match at this point, and the crowd was super, super into everything. Like you could tell, they really, really wanted Drew to go over. There was a Priest hit a flatliner that sent Drew into the mat. And then a running elbow smash that I thought was pretty good. They did a couple things where Drew hit a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. He went for the future shock, but then Priest came out of it, and then they went on the floor. The fans were then chanting, fuck him up, Drew, for Drew Mack, which I thought was awesome. And then we kind of get to a bit of the finish here where this was, I don't know, what did you guys think of the finish?
I thought the ref bump was nice. He first hit his ankle and then he kind of was
then
outside.
he's getting back in the ring and then you hit him again. I like the way they got it.
Yeah. I thought the
premise was good. Timing a little bit off by the ref. The ref had ample time to get actually into the ring.
Yeah,
when he was up there. But I can't expect his timing to be like a wrestler's.
Yeah, and I did see how and then
he took a good bump into the wall too.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
And when he took the bump, he was on the one leg. He was still selling the other leg in midair.
Yes, which was pretty cool. I did like the reveal of Punk as well after the Claymore. I thought that was really cool.
Boo hiss.
You didn't like the reveal?
No, I didn't like it. I want a clean finish.
Yeah.
I just want a freaking clean finish, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want.
Okay.
Do your angle on Monday night if you want.
Which they easily could have done.
Do a damn clean finish.
Or do a post-match. Something.
I know, but their thing is, it's the big thing for Drew to get screwed. Is it really the big thing?
Well, who got screwed here? Because I think the fans did.
Absolutely.
I think the fans got screwed. And I get it's wrestling and
So is it better to the fans if he didn't get screwed by Punk and he just lost with no interference at all? Is that better, or does he have to win?
To which fans? The fans in the arena or the fans watching on
just
TV?
the arena.
The fans in Scotland, yes, absolutely. If you're an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old in that crowd with your dad,
You'd rather lose clean? Or would you'd rather go home saying, I can't believe Punk lost us the title?
Yes.
Exactly. That's a kid, not an adult.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I. But watching, we would have rather seen him lose clean.
I just want to see something clean.
And I'm
just so tired of run-ins.
I like that.
You could do them. You could do the run-in afterwards.
I don't mind that match not losing clean because CM Punk and Drew have been like they've had this going on for a
Okay,
while.
so that means even more you could beat them clean and then do it on Monday night. And I didn't even know they had a history.
Okay, but how are you doing it on Monday night?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, what's
Drew
the-
comes
okay, so
out, cuts a
Drew's- okay.
promo, says I lost last night. Here comes Punk. New angle. Boom.
What, is Punk just laughing at him for losing then? Like,
I'm just saying off the
McIntyre's
top of my head, you could do anything you want if you put a couple minutes into thinking about it.
true, but I'm just saying, as a fan perspective, you're going to this show and you're rooting for Drew Mac, and Drew Mac lost at the last Clash of the Castle to Roman, which he was in his crazy long title reign. He wasn't going to job then. But
Was that clean?
no, it was bloodline interference and stuff. But you're doing to Damian Priest, like Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre should beat Damian Priest. Drew Mac needs to get stamped with a big win. He got screwed at Mania.
That's why they had the interference.
Yeah, but okay. Now let me ask you this then too.
Oh, are they putting the belt on him
No, I don't think they are.
anytime soon?
I think they're going to put the belt on Seth.
I
I think Seth's going to get it back.
I
do.
just think
And let me ask you this too, guys. You're going to have Drew Mac and Punk at SummerSlam probably. It's Punk's pretty much his first match in the company. Is Punk jobbing at SummerSlam, or is Drew Mac going over? Who's winning that match? at
Nobody.
SummerSlam?
There'll be an interference, no finish. Santa Claus will come down, the clown will come down, the Easter Bunny will run in. That'll be Pat McAfee when he takes the hood off.
But seriously, who do you think's going to win that match, Ollie?
Punk.
I just said nobody, so you know my answer.
Okay.
I don't know.
Punk
Because I say I don't mind the finish, but I don't know what they're going with Drew McIntyre after all these losses.
He looks like a loser. He looks like a chump.
Wait a minute, he's
It's like-
had the belt 3 times, hasn't he?
He's had it for a couple of
Could've heard-
coffees.
I heard them
Couple
say
of
that.
coffees. He had it during the
Okay,
pandemic.
but whatever. So he doesn't look like a chump. You freaking the baby faces you chase. That's how a company makes money, and that's the way it is.
He's a heel, though.
I just don't know when the big payoff is, if there ever is going to be one.
Right?
So first of all, my initial instinct is McIntyre didn't get screwed.
Oh, he did.
Punk did not screw McIntyre. Punk's not an official. He didn't do anything.
Oh, you're saying storyline-wise he didn't get screwed.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
saying by
like,
the booking.
They should have
he
ran
was.
out another
No.
referee and Punk jab him from behind
Right.
and then like down the aisleway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like he at least
Punk-
attempted to get a real ref in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Punk went out, like he didn't really screw him. Like I guess McIntyre.
Even
got
if he
caught
counted
up.
3, you're saying it wouldn't even have counted because he wasn't a technical ref.
However
It's
you want
wrestling,
it.
right?
Right, yeah, yeah, right.
I will
However
say-
you want to say.
I will say they
Paul
tried-
Lee counted the 3 when RVD beat John Cena.
That's
Kinda,
right.
you
I
know
will
what I'm
say they
saying?
tried
So,
to kayfabe it on social media. They had
and they had the Punk take
taking
the
the-
Jessica's. You
yes.
know,
they did it. They did
the
a
what?
segment on social media where there's the female referee backstage, and Punk's watching the match. And as the ref goes down, he turns to the female ref and says, "Give me a shirt. I'm
You have
going
an
out
extra
there.
shirt? Like, do you have an extra shirt?"
So they did kayfabe it on social media for people like, why did CM Punk have a referee shirt? Why did he go to Scotland? Was he waiting for this ref bump to happen? So like they did bother to explain
right,
it
but
kind
it's
of like
like,
that.
yo, he
but-
didn't really screw. Yeah, I guess he kicked him in the balls, but like he didn't
Yeah.
They
really
didn't
screw
throw out a
him.
real
Like,
ref.
yeah, like he didn't. Right, exactly.
I agree kind of with you now.
Like it wasn't really a screw job. Punk went out there and counted 2, and that was it. Like that was it. He didn't screw him over.
Yeah, and I understand how the booking wouldn't even consider that part of what Ty's saying because that's just not wrestling booking. Anything can happen.
Everyone else looks at
anywhere.
it like, oh, CM
It's
Punk
like
went
pull
in
a
there
kid
and
out
screwed him
of
up.
the
Like,
pull a kid out of the audience that's got his T-shirt on and let him count 3. Honestly,
it's like, oh, that kid screwed him. It's like, no, he didn't. He just went out. Like,
I didn't
don't
like
know.
it. I didn't like it, and I thought about the fans being in attendance. It's like you don't get WWE very often. You got your hometown guy in the main event of the show. He's got this storyline. He hasn't won the big one, and he doesn't win the big one again. Like it sucks. Like they would have went nuts in that arena. The pop, if he would have won, would have been crazy.
I loved it if it would have been clean.
Yeah.
Oh no, the building would have collapsed probably.
Yeah, so like, why don't you just do that then? I don't get it.
I love it.
Nah.
Yeah, but then
I love him losing. Would you have loved it if he lost clean?
yes.
That's my point.
No,
I get it, but I also I can understand the pop too. What'll be interesting, Ty, because it's another instance of where I say, well, I said you make the babyface chase, right? That's it. Drew's not a babyface. You know what I mean? But you make him chase for the match.
He is a babyface, though.
Not in America.
Nah, he's like a tweener.
Okay,
kinda,
so let's see if he's even more of a babyface now after the pay-per-view.
So
he
then
just quit.
Is Punk turning heel? Are they going to turn Punk heel? I mean, like...
Well, he just gave a screw job, so that's what they're trying to do, I think.
I think...
How over is Punk compared to Cody right
But
now?
Punk's making his first appearance
We're gonna
at
see.
SmackDown in Chicago, his hometown, this Friday.
That's like what we just saw at the Castle. Same thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of mileage they can get out of Punk. If Punk's going to stay healthy, if he'll stay out of any backstage issues.
Yeah, and then you're going to take Drew from a title run and then to a no title with Punk. I mean, I'm just saying.
Money in the Bank's coming up, then SummerSlam's coming up, so who knows what's going on there. And
still ain't Money in the Bank then.
Dude, and then...
Probably not.
And then
We're a
Royal...
match at it.
Well,
Yeah.
Priest and Rollins are facing off for the title at Money in the Bank.
Okay, so Rollins ain't in Money in the Bank.
No.
Who are the other two guys we were just talking about?
Punk and McIntyre.
They're not Money in the
McIntyre
Bank.
just said
What about who from the Bloodline?
Jey Uso's qualified, so he's
Okay.
in.
I don't know who they have for Money in the Bank. I would think like LA Knight should be in Money in the Bank.
Probably, yeah.
There's Gable, Braun Strowman, and Bronson Reed qualifying match next week. So I would assume...
In a three-way?
Yes.
I say Braun.
Oh, that's right. I
I
saw.
would say
I say
Braun.
Braun
Yeah,
gets
I
the
would
win
say
there.
Braun gets the win there.
Oh, why wouldn't Gable?
I don't know. They just jobbed
Is
him out to
Gable
Braun.
over now?
Well,
Like,
Gable's
is Gable
dead.
the first one
Gable's
eliminated?
dead.
He just had a squash
so
match
let's
versus
talk.
Braun.
All right. So let's,
Can he survive after this angle?
he could be. Well, I mean, he's already got a belt,
Who?
but Logan Paul.
Will he be in it?
He could be.
He could be
Oh, that
in
would make
it.
sense totally for him to show up
I
there.
could-
Why wouldn't you?
I could
Put
see-
Matt McAfee in it too. For that
I could see Braun Breaker being in it.
Yeah.
I could see... I mean...
All right. So on Raw Monday, they had the ending. Hack, did you have a chance to watch this Wyatt Six group debut?
What to do with the funky vignette?
Yeah. Well, Uncle.
Now, where they went into the back and everybody was like dead.
Oh, yeah, that's freaking horrible.
I don't like it either.
That's horrible.
We're not in the business of killing people.
Yeah.
It's like you
Okay.
can have people beat up and laid out and whatever, and that's fine. But dead? No, we're not.
I hated it.
Well, it's called insinuated violence, but you can't insinuate violence 26 people laying on the freaking floor unless the guy did like a voodoo thing or something. But then they have Gable, you notice he was one of the wrestlers
Looked
that
like a
they laid
splatter
on
pattern,
the floor.
yeah.
You sound like Scotty right now. Dude. That was a total Raven answer right now. It's called insinuated violence, but it's not.
Well, it
insinuated
is. It
violence.
was just
You
like
can't-
what? It's just like Cody
You're
did.
hearing your
in
dad's
the,
voice.
It's just like Cody did in the first match. It was insinuated violence. He's going to hit him with the stairs, and then it doesn't happen. That's why he's like, I'm quitting. But then he hit him later, so that didn't make sense. But it's insinuated violence.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying about that, but like,
But I liked it afterwards.
you did.
After the people, I liked it afterwards. Like all the people laid out, and then they did the other shit, like for another 30, 45 seconds. That was fine to me.
I don't know what the direction.
And I knew. What do you mean? The direction is what's his name? The kid that died.
Chad Gable and them.
No, the other guy,
Bray
Bray
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Well,
Bray Wyatt.
I know it is, but I'm saying like
And they'll do it wrong, and all they'll do is get buried for it.
right, like
You can't do it right.
you can't do it right. That's my point.
You
Like
just can't.
You eventually have to get it in the ring, and when it gets in the ring, it's not going to work. Like it's just not going to work. I don't see how it can work. I don't know.
The only way I like it is if that nobody's off limits. Like
As in,
like you don't like NXT, Raw, SmackDown, like nobody's off limit. Like
how
they're
many times
just
can you say like? Just say.
like they're just
Like.
they're just going anywhere and everywhere possible, and nobody's safe.
But then
You don't know when
Oh,
it's
you
going to
mean
pop
besides their other companies?
up. Right? Like
I do like that.
nobody's safe. Just
But again, you have to get it in the ring at some point.
Well, and how do
Do
you
you?
back up that? I know. No, Vince could do that for a year. Like
Yeah, do
that's
you?
just. But how do you start out with leaving everybody in the back?
No.
Done and killed. What's next?
No, you
I
don't
know.
do it.
Throw
No,
off a building.
you don't do it every week. Just something happens every once in a while where, you know,
And then,
not saying like that, like where you just leave the whole back buried, but something that means something.
well, what'll probably happen is they'll do it until somebody has a bright idea to interject it in this match, in a championship match
kill it.
somewhere. Yeah.
And kill
I
it.
think-
Something like that.
I think similar to Wyatt when he was doing the Fiend. It's almost like a kiss of death. Like the second it gets in the ring, I don't think it's going to work. When Wyatt got in the
Why?
ring,
Doink worked.
it worked. Doink worked, but this ain't Doink, man. This ain't Doink, dude. Doink did work, but like Wyatt when he was doing that Fiend character and it was red, the red lighting and everything, like. You know, I love Bray Wyatt. Like I thought he did some really great work, and rest in peace. And I'm happy that Rowan is getting work in WWE again.
Oh, who is the dude?
Well, it's his brother. It's Bo Dallas.
Oh, it's his brother.
His brother's Uncle
that's
Howdy.
fine then.
Yeah.
What are you kidding me?
No, that's really cool. Don't get me wrong. I think that's cool. I'm just talking about the character itself. Like, eventually it's going to get to the ring, and when it does, are they going to be superhuman, no selling?
Okay,
like,
how old is his brother? Is his brother a worker
Yes.
at all?
Yeah.
Oh, his brother's has
His
he ever
brother was
been
in
anywhere?
NXT.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
in NXT too.
Well, did he get fired? Was he in NXT when Bray was still here? And then did they fire him after Bray died? Or what's the deal with him?
He was let go at one point and then brought back.
Okay.
So I'm not sure of the
Well,
timeline
before
with it.
Bray got over, Bray's like, bring my brother up to NXT.
Well, Bray got let go himself too. I mean, Bray got cut during the pandemic, and then they brought him back. He was
Okay.
also released. So like,
Yeah, but the pandemic's a different thing. Not like I even knew that, but
Yeah.
I got to take that with a grain of salt.
Bray and Braun Strowman were two of their big names that they let go during that time period.
All right, but I love it that it's his brother. It might as well bring in grandma, grandpa, the mom, dad.
Barry
There's
Windham,
a
Mike
zillion
Rotundo.
places to go. You imagine that? You bring out like 4 other people, a mask, and it's grandma and grandpa.
I mean,
and
that-
grandma like spits the mist in somebody's face or something. That's WWF, dude.
I know, like, there's cool elements to it, and I do love that his family and his friends are involved with it. Like, Eric Rowan now is back in WWE. I do feel for him because he lost Bray and Brody Lee in short time.
I
As the
thought
Wyatt
Brody
family.
Lee was working. Isn't he that big ass dude?
No, that's Brody King.
Oh, okay.
Brody Lee is the old Luke Harper is what he went by in
Oh
WWE.
yeah, like that means anything to me.
You don't know the Wyatts? You never watched the Wyatts or the early
I
Shield
wasn't
and
watching
stuff?
wrestling then.
Okay.
Remember,
all right.
I had over
You
a
had
decade
a long,
at least.
yeah. You had a long,
to watch
off,
anything.
you had a long off period. So
Maybe even longer than a decade.
Yeah,
probably
well-
like 2008 to 2022.
they did some really good stuff. So they were certainly cool.
That's why I don't think Sami Zayn is so great because of rules of watching him there, Jed.
You're such a wrong person for that, man. You really are. We got to educate you, Hack.
Well, no, the more I watch him, I never said he wasn't a good wrestler. I never said he wasn't a really good wrestler. I just said that to me, he's not an Intercontinental Champion. When I look at an Intercontinental Champion, it's Kurt Hennig.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
I'm going to have to get you some old Ring of Honor, and you can watch El Generico and Kevin Steen tear the house down, man. You would love it.
Not the point.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Look it.
I know what you're saying.
Look it when you're going through an airport. Look like you're that.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
I just want to see Grandma Howdy.
I want to see Grandma. I'm telling you, I think that's a great idea. Whoever's running shit up there, have Grandma blow mist in somebody's face. The place will pop.
That's money.
It would be like Mae Young thing.
Coming up in the show,
I'm on a roll.
our topic this week, man. This is certainly an interesting show. We watched WCW Great American Bash 1999. This continues your run in the summer and spring of WCW, Hack. What was going on backstage at this time? Like, what do you recall about the booking?
Nothing. I didn't care. I had nothing to do with it. All I got was what I was doing from me. It was probably Dusty. And that was it.
So Dusty at the time was handling a lot of the secondary booking.
Dude, I told you guys before, you wouldn't see the rest of the guys. They were in their own rooms. Like, you just didn't see them rolling around.
So, like, okay,
It was weird.
break that down to me. So, like, you get to the building, you go to the...
Well, first of all, I'm hiding. I'm not like I don't like dressing in the locker room with like 60 dudes. But even maybe back then, there was a point in time where when wrestlers, until they screwed it up totally, that we could go into like say any like NBA basketball arena, and they would let us dress in the players' locker rooms. But we would trash them so bad that then they were like, nope, you're not going into players' stuff anymore.
There was a bunch of somas on the ground.
So then the next thing you know, there's 50 different rooms all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you wouldn't really see them. And it wasn't like catering like it was. You would get to see you would see a lot of those other guys for like Vince and his catering, but catering wasn't like that in WCW at that point.
Okay.
So I had nothing to do with the book, and nothing all I cared about was Dusty telling me what I was doing.
Okay, so just Dusty is basically handling your segments with you?
Well, yeah, but he would say, just go out and do what you wouldn't do, and this is who's going over. Because Dusty knew what I was doing.
Dusty and Kevin Sullivan as well was somewhat involved in the
booking.
It
was more Dusty, because Kevin was... Dude, Dusty used to stand out when this was all happening, the Nashes, the Hall. I don't know if Hall's there at this point, but it was the Nashes, the Halls, the Macho Mans, Eric, Hogan. You never saw those guys, but their locker room, Dusty was the century outside their locker room. You didn't get past Dusty.
Dusty was like the bouncer?
You did it. And this happened multiple times, especially pay-per-views and everything, dude. You did not get past Dusty.
Okay.
Dusty, I told you, me and Bigelow opened up the 9 o'clock hour for WCW when they were doing those 3 hours, and we were killing it. We were owning the first 15 minutes. And Dusty gave it to me every time, less than 15 minutes before I went out there. Wow. Except the first time when they didn't want to use my the Sandman name because they set up a concrete company in Salt Lake, in California, whatever. So besides that, it was just Dusty giving it to me. I'd be like, Dusty, what am I doing? It'd be like 8:45. I'm starting at 9 o'clock, 9:02. He'd go in, come back like less than 2 minutes later and give it to me.
Okay. So you just like, it's really being written on the fly?
Well, he trusted me. He knew me.
Yeah.
He just knew I knew what I was doing. He knew Bammer knowing what he's doing. He knows Raven knows what he's doing because these are the people that I'm working with then. I mean, what's Dusty going to do? Well, brother, I want to hit you with a trash. I want you to hit him with a trash can. All right. Am I done? Who did I do great last week?
Oh, you did a good Stone Cold.
Oh, can I get a help? Nah, that was horrible. Yeah.
That was like an Irish...
No, I'm still in Ireland now. The castle.
Yeah, that was Vic Finley.
Yeah, but Dusty was the only one that was really giving it to me.
Okay, so...
in like 30 seconds.
Have you had a chance to watch any of the Who Killed WCW series?
Yeah, I watched all 3.
Okay, cool. So, like, in your perspective, obviously you were only in the company for like 9 months or so. Who would you say that you would say is like the number one culprit for Who Killed WCW?
There's a multitude of things.
Okay.
It could be like the way they portrayed. It could be the guys that were upstairs that were ahead of Eric.
The suits.
As in, no matter what Eric did, but Eric wanted to do what he was doing, his product, but you couldn't sell advertising on it. You know what I mean? You could not sell advertising on what Eric was doing, and that makes total sense. And the upstairs people want you to sell advertising, especially when Turner decided, I'm not so sure if we need it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a combination of factors to me. You could never say, it could be like, all right, 22% Eric Bischoff, 17% this guy in the office, 16% this guy, 22% Hogan. You know what I mean? So you can't break it down like that, but I can't say, and I don't think anybody could ever really say who was actually like the most responsible.
It's a cumulative effort of failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Big business like that.
The interesting thing is business in 98 was so good for them, and business in 97 was so good for them. And business in 99, you guys still had a really good house here this night in Baltimore. Some of the house shows were drawing really well, but the attendance and the ratings were down big in 99. And WWF at this point was hot. This is the Attitude Era. This is Vince. This is Austin. This is The Rock. This is Taker. This is DX. They're hot, and you're not. When you're a cold product, what does the locker room feel like at that point? Are you guys like demoralized? Are you just
WCW now? No, we never even talked about it really.
you never talked about?
I mean, it might be like a Horace Hogan or something talking to a Jerry Flynn or something about the ratings, but
it wasn't talked about.
no,
amongst the
everybody
boys.
was making money.
You were making
Dude,
great
you're in
money.
a locker room with Hogan, Flair, Piper, Macho Man, like
Yeah, you don't give a
Kevin Nash.
You
Like,
don't
are you
care what
really
the ratings are.
Yeah, are you really talking about like, oh man, we're not doing so well? Like,
Well, not like I ever seen him. Nash, I would say, but all the rest of the guys,
like
not.
Booker T, whoever.
Booker,
like,
I would talk
Scott
to all the
Steiner,
time.
Rich
You're not
Steiner,
feeling
Sting.
like you're on a losing team or a sinking ship at this point.
No, I'm getting paid.
You're getting most money you've
I'm
ever
getting
gotten in
paid,
your career.
and I don't think anybody that wasn't really in the know had any clue that ship was ever sinking.
Right, because
Ever.
Turner himself.
He loved wrestling.
Loved it.
Everybody wanted to get rid of it for years.
Right. Yeah, it's
And he lost money on it every year.
WCW is a very interesting thing to me because I don't think the
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't they... He lost part of the board or something like that, and the board started voting. I'm just remembering something like that
well,
now.
Turner merged AOL Time Warner
yeah,
merger is
that's
happening
what it
in
was.
'99
And
into
then he got
2000.
diluted.
And then Turner basically lost his power.
Right.
And then at that point, the WCW show, the ratings were in the toilet, and they were losing a ton of money. So then it became this property that was always in the redheaded stepchild in their portfolio, to then being a money loser. So they wanted to get rid of it.
So now the real redheaded. They were the green-headed stepchild.
For a while.
Bringing all that money in, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Now they're the redheaded stepchild.
96, 97, 98, they were the beloved company.
Yeah, wow.
And then it went down. And 99 is really, really the point. And a lot of that's because of the booking of Kevin Nash. I know you said a lot of complimentary things about
Hey,
him.
dude, he put me. I was doing nothing. I did a couple vignettes with Raven, playing chess and pushing Canyon in the pool. But I was getting paid since September 9th. And they didn't use me until March 6th was like the first time that when I get called. And JJ Dillon's like, Kevin Nash has got the book. He wants you in Minnesota tomorrow night.
That's crazy.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'll
What's
be
my
there.
flight?
Yeah, I'll be there. Do you remember anything about Eric Bischoff?
But I don't know that Nash is going to put me over like the way he put me over.
Yes.
I have no idea that he was going to start the show off with me 10 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
I got to ask you, there was apparently a meeting that Eric Bischoff had with the boys, kind of about like the direction of the company. He said there's only 10 real stars in this company. Do you have any memories of that meeting?
No,
at all?
I never even heard about it.
So apparently Bischoff said there's only 10 stars in the company, and he listed Hogan, Flair,
Whatever.
Piper, all those guys. And a lot of the other boys in the company, I know Ali's looking at me like, why would Bischoff say this? A lot of the guys like the Benoits, the Ray, the Eddies, those kind of guys, they were like, are you serious? Like, we're not stars? You're not treating us like we're big talent or at all? And they
Meanwhile,
were
Hack's hiding in a closet somewhere, like
Dude,
reading
all right,
newspaper.
smoking a tinny.
Yeah.
all right, so here we go. You just rattled something in my brain for a hack story. So the first day I get there, I'm in Minnesota, and it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now Vince, I'm pretty sure it was a Monday night. It might have been a pay-per-view, but I don't think so. So I'm one of the first. I'm literally the first guy into the locker room, and I'm the brand new guy. Ain't never been in their locker room
Is this
before.
a Sting story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
Sting-
bring that up.
Yeah, so I told him. So Sting comes in, and there's nothing to do. So he's. I learned later that he was like the best card player in there, and I beat him. I don't know. We were playing a penny a point, but it's not like that's just to keep score. It's not like you're going to hand over $4 to him at the end of it. You know what I mean? But I smoked him. Whatever. There's a thing that it's called. Like if he doesn't. I don't know if you beat him so quick or whatever, but I was just getting dealt like 3 of a kind of this, a 5, 6, 7 of clubs run here. You know what I mean? I just smoked him and he got all upset and rolled. So by the time everybody else is in, I'm in the locker room. As soon as you walked in the locker room, I took there was a locker straight ahead. So that's the one that I took. I lay down and I fall asleep on my back. I wake up. Kevin Nash walks into the locker room. My first time that I'm in this locker room, he walks in and kicks me in the feet and he goes, Sandman, get the fuck up. And he goes over and has a big meeting. Yo, I got the book now, when I say goes. And then left.
great first impression.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a typical Sandman.
And then next
first
thing I
impression.
know, yeah, you're over the match at 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh darn.
Well, that was probably the best booking decision Kevin Nash made during his awful booking run.
Yeah, get up, you're on soon. Yeah.
Putting you and Bam Bam out there to save this shit.
I know, but that kind of, it's kind of like you can't really be the first time you're ever in that locker room and you're the one that's asleep on the floor.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a bad look.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
But then when he goes in and does that, he kind of laughs it off a little bit. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I'm one of the boys too, you know?
Yeah. But back to that, like, a Big Ten kind of thing, because I know it was always a sore spot with Raven, because he was one of those guys that really wanted to break up through the glass ceiling. One of your first vignettes, you're in Raven's house, and he's going through a box of stuff.
Oh, he was so coked up.
And
I was.
In that box of stuff is a couple of Roddy Piper posters. And apparently Raven and Piper had wanted to do a program. And Raven's theory was, even if you work with a top guy and you don't go over, if you work with a top guy and you do a program,
right away.
you're over yourself.
Yeah.
So he wanted to do this program with Piper, and somebody put the kibosh on it. I don't know why. Piper was from Portland. Raven was
All
from
right,
Portland.
well, here's how stupid they are at the booking right end. This is one thing I know. So if you remember, they kept putting Raven in the front row for like 2 months.
Yeah, this is back in '97 when he first went there.
Yeah, the flock
but
and
what
all
I'm
that.
saying is it's still the same mentality of booking. So they have him doing this for 2 months, and they haven't really put him over. Next thing you know, he goes into the locker room, and they're saying, listen, at the end of Lex Luger's match, we want you to go in, and he's going to torture rack you. He goes, you spent eight weeks in a row on me being in the front row, and you want to kill me like that? And then he got it switched, which I got handed to him for that. You know what I mean? But it just made sense. Once somebody spoke it out loud, and everybody's like, yeah, that makes no sense at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in WCW. But, like, watching this
The
show...
Bluff Bagwell thing. I mean, do we even get to a match yet?
No, okay. So the show opens up, and it's...
I thought we were done on this.
I had to set the table with this show because this is WCW is a mess at this
Yeah, well, your
point.
table's horrible. My grandmother said a way better Thanksgiving table than that.
So the show opens up, and Master P and the No Limit Soldiers show up coming out of a limo. Kurt Hennig gets Hootie Hoo hacked. Do you have any memories of the No Limit Soldiers during this time period?
Well, yeah, you guys, the rap is crap thing, but the only time I really noticed was I was in New Orleans and I was flying back to Philly, and Master P's from Philly. I'm sitting in first class because I had so many miles and shit back then. What?
He's not from Philly.
Back then he was.
Master P.
It was for him and his boys were in the first class plane with me in the morning, flying back to Philly.
Okay, I'm not doubting that they were
I'm
going
pretty
back to
sure
Philly.
he was from Philly at that point.
Nah.
Never?
Nah.
All right, well, I was on the plane with him. That's the only reason I knew it. And these guys all hooded up. Before we even took off, these guys, they had all their hoods on. They were dead like blankets over their head and shit. It was weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool
but then-
story, Hansel. Is that it?
Yeah, that might have been the most horrifying hack story ever.
So you rode on a plane with Master P and the No Limit Soldiers.
Rap is crap.
Oh yeah. Okay, so K-Dog's got got Bischoff's ear right here. So he's doing it, he's doing his shit with his boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I don't know how it happened, but then it turns those guys into against the Rap is Crap guys. And it was funny. If we were in Nashville's an obvious one, but like KC, Minnesota, even if you're talking about the Dakotas, the Rap is Crap dudes were over huge.
As faces. Even though they were the
it's
heels.
huge. But then if we were in Miami, LA, New York,
The rap guys were over.
yeah, the other guys were
Baltimore,
over.
which they were in. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird dichotomy in that. But Kurt would be smart enough to know how to work the match out there. It was always a 6-man.
Yeah.
And he would work the matches. Hey, you're the heels tonight, we're the babies.
Yeah, and
And you make it work for the night.
I know people look back on that and they kind of hate on it. We'll get to some of that more later, but I thought it was kind of an interesting way to open up the show. We then get some clips of the legendary TV leading up to this, with Nash filling a Macho Man limo with poop, and Nash double-crossing Macho with a contortionist coming out of a bag to then dump more poop on Macho Man in a pink fur coat. I mean, this looked like some of the worst television ever, like, honestly.
He's like, you're a stupid man.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell
That
he
was
said.
his promo. Yeah, that was his promo. Like,
Whatever the hell he said, it's like, okay, Macho Man, good one. Like, yeah.
Good one, Footy. 48-year-old Macho
You're
Man.
a stupid person.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, it was so bad. We also then got the debut of the mystery Hummer angle. That angle went nowhere. So this was a Hummer that just like.
Usually I like a Hummer, but this one.
What about a mystery Hummer? I think it's called a glory hole.
Yeah, I think so. Usually I'm a fan of those too, but this one not so much. Mystery Hummer, aka the glory hole.
I mean, that's basically.
Yeah, this is the glory hole angle.
I mean, like when they're booking this shit, they don't have any end point. Like, what the fuck are they thinking?
I know, and it's like, first of all, how horrible was that fucking, like, smashing the limo?
It was
like,
so bad. You see Nash's
the car's
arm like
going like 15 miles an hour.
and you
It's
see
like,
Nash's arm like dangle out like he's half dead trying to open up the limo door. God, it was bad, man.
Yeah, I know, but when I'm watching that, I'm like, well, how come they can't be like the WWE? The WWE would do that stuff
And the
with like
limo would blow
Austin,
up.
and it would be great.
Because they weren't, and it was them trying to be like that. And
Oh, obviously.
Well, I'm also thinking it's 1999 too, so I'm trying to give it somewhat of a break. but, like,
Hey, what was Austin on a roll yet here?
yeah,
He was
super hot.
Like the milk truck, the this,
Everything.
the that, everything.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bedpan over Vince's head might be the greatest spot ever in the history of that company.
Dude, so good.
Yeah, they're just like copying, and that comes off really lame ultimately. So, Baltimore then is treated to the worst thing to happen to its fine city since the riots of '68 with this pay-per-view. This was an awful show. I'm serious though.
Wait, I don't know. They just lost a bridge
Yeah,
in the
okay.
last couple
But I'm saying Baltimore at the time in '99. At the time in '99, because this was just a god awful show. The show opened up with a video package breaking down the card, and then we start with, you and Brian Knobbs.
No, should we do my match last?
Do
To end on a high note?
I mean, dude, we got to talk about it.
I'd say for the
I'm
first
just
time,
saying, it's
for
so
the first time, I might say you're right.
I mean,
actually.
honestly, out of all the matches on this show, Hack, it was maybe the best. I don't know. This was really
Wow,
bad.
thanks.
I'm
And
serious.
I'm out there fighting for my life,
Yeah.
literally.
Okay. So I know.
Literally.
I know you've mentioned this before, Hack. Tell us what Knobbs said to you when you first met him in WCW.
I don't know. I guess I'm there for a month, like a month being in the locker room. I had signed a contract like 7 months before that. Haven't been there for more than a month. And Knobbs walks right up to me and he goes, "Hey, I'm Brian Knobbs, and the only reason I'm here is because Terry's my best friend."
There you go. He let you know why he's there
Right away.
And he
Like the first words out of his mouth. But that's how Brian is. He's kind of like me.
is he a ball buster?
Oh, yeah, he's great.
So you saying
Oh,
that?
both of them were great, dude. They're having fun. They're just fun dudes, you know what I mean? Like, some guys in the locker room are like sedate. Some guys are like me, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, they were fun guys.
And Terry, you mean
Funny
Hogan? If
Yeah.
nobody,
Got
if
that.
you don't know who Terry is,
So during the pandemic, I was watching like a shit ton of wrestling because nothing else was on, and I tweeted back in May of 2020. Brian Knobbs was shooting in all of his 1999 WCW hardcore matches. If I were a wrestler and saw my name on the booking sheet next to 1999 Brian Knobbs in a hardcore match, I would be telling the office I had a family emergency and needed to go home.
Who said that?
I did back in
he
2020.
tweeted that back
Oh,
in
seriously?
2020 because
How
he
can
was.
you even find that?
I looked it up. I knew I tweeted it. Heck, I'm watching these matches and Knobbs in '99. What the hell was it like getting in the ring with this guy?
All right, dude. It's really the only time I've ever come across something like this. I mean, even in a house show, when you got in he would get glazed over in his eyes. You could tell him anything you wanted in the back. Like Jimmy Hart knew this too. Thank God for Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart saved me multiple times from Knobs, like literally ending my career. He would get this glaze over his eyes, and you couldn't hurt the dude.
Like a in the ring, like in the zone thing.
I'm in the ring, the crowd's here. I can't hear. He wouldn't hear you talk to him. You couldn't call a spot with him. It was more like, hey, we know what's coming. You know what I mean? We know what we call because he wouldn't. I would talk to him and he would do something totally different.
Okay. And then talk about some of the live rounds he was throwing, man, because.
Well, if you know people, you got to go back and look at this match. It's the only time you ever see me gun shy with somebody. I'm turning my shoulder to him when he's hit me with the chair because I don't know if he's going to whack me across the back of the head with the side of the chair and kill me. That's literally, I don't know what the guy's going to do. So sometimes when you're doing a chair spot, you just keep your head down because you know the guy's going to, Sabu's going to hit you right in the center of the back. It's going to be no problem. You couldn't do that with him. You had to keep your eye on him all the time.
Okay, so this match opens up. Knobs cuts a pre-match promo in the ring.
Mrs. Nasty's birthday. I'm cracking up in the back. I'm like, dude, this is great. You're even saying this.
He promised his wife a birthday present, and it was destroying Hardcore Hack. Certainly an interesting birthday gift, I think. You know?
Well, him mentioning his wife, that just puts him over with her. That's why I loved it.
Yeah.
And there was no rules back then here anyway. You could just do whatever you wanted.
So you come out to the ring.
Nobody gave us a time limit. Nothing.
Okay. You come out to the ring with Chastity. And it had come out around this time that she had done some adult film work. Do you remember the reaction to this coming out? Do you remember the reaction of that?
Oh, she had way too much makeup on during that show. But I didn't care about that.
No, I know you didn't, but do you remember the reaction to like The Office or The Boys or anybody?
Nah.
She didn't get in any heat for that?
I don't remember her being fired, but for it.
I didn't know, because WCW was more like PG-ish. I didn't know if they would have like an issue with that or something. WCW was more PG.
Okay.
So I didn't know if they would be like...
Oh, yeah. Well, back then, porno was a little bit different than it's looked at now.
Right.
Now they want you if you're a porno girl.
Yeah, yeah. So then...
Same.
Yeah, same.
In a Hummer.
Mystery Hummer.
Yeah.
Or a hole.
Dude, Hack, watching this match, it was actually hilarious because, like you said, you were literally turning your shoulder to, like, every shot.
You've never seen me do that ever.
And you're not getting... Every time you try and go for something, you're not really getting anything in. And the funny part is he goes for the funk spot with his head around the...
Hey, kills Jimmy Hart.
He puts a ladder around his head and tries to hit, and you cut him off. I can just see it in your head. You're like, nope, I'm not taking that.
That was the wrong time. Yeah. The spot was the wrong time.
Well, I just thought you were like, no, I'm not taking one of those.
Did it later.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. And he cut it off, and then he eventually was like, no, I'm getting this spot in. And he picks it up and does it later, and I'm like, well, Hack's screwed. Like, watching this. Like,
well, it was the right time then. That's why I kicked him in the gut.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the right time for the spot.
I thought you were just like, I'm not taking one of those. Because the one that he did hit you with later...
Yeah, kill me.
Yeah.
Destroyed you.
Yeah, but that's one I see coming, and I can let it land on me and take the bump as it's happening.
And it looked like he still killed you with it, though.
Oh, yeah, but that's what the business is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I did like you did take the head over heels bump into the ladder. That's one of your signatures.
The same time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby double. He doesn't take any shoot on his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did the flip bump
That's
into
what
the
I mean.
corner,
That's
right?
what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
flip
yeah,
bump.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
all
I'm
my
talking
standards. Let me see how great I was.
Okay.
Oh, wait, the slingshot leg drop
I have
over
that
the
here in my
top
notes
rope.
too.
You caught your foot on the
You
rope,
sandwich
pussy.
you sandwich his leg in the ladder and you smash it with a chair.
Yeah, and what's this other one? Yeah, Hack, you were just generally awesome in this match. I mean, I'm just saying. That's my note.
Did you actually write that?
Dude, the crowd did
I
shit.
was going to say.
No,
we
but-
did it right. No,
but-
he actually wrote that. I was about to rip that shit.
The crowd did chant "Let's go Hack."
Dude,
so you
it
did
was
have a
the
crowd
first
into
Hack
you.
sign I've ever seen in my life.
You were
over for
you were
whatever
over.
reason.
Like when you came out,
Knobs got no reaction.
none. And when you came out, you did like, even though you don't have the Sandman music, you don't have beer, you don't have a cigarette, you still did stand on the
There was a chair
railing.
in the guardrail.
Dude, I'm taking my time. Nobody's telling me how, like, in WWE, Kevin would cut your music off as I'm, like, standing on that rail or the wall walking around. He would just cut it off, and you'd have to get in the ring because the other guy's music's playing.
But you did have a presence to you in WCW still. Like, you carried
Dude,
it.
they were
You know what I
saying,
mean?
let's
Like,
I knew
go
how to
Hack,
carry
let's
myself.
go Hack,
Yeah.
or whatever, yeah.
like,
I mean, this is my time to shine right now. I know I'm going over, but the going over to me doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You know, in a hardcore match, me beating knives, no. My time to shine is during that entrance.
yes.
And
Dude, doing this whole like
And I knew he was getting beat up afterwards.
doing this whole like who's most like hardcore thing. Why wasn't your name like hardcore hack, not and just hack?
It was. They didn't just say it then. Sometimes they would say
I
it,
know,
sometimes
but
they
yeah.
wouldn't.
So because like, but it should they should have came up like in the beginning as you're walking into the ring like hardcore hack.
No, I
Every
told
time.
Kevin Nash after Kevin Nash. Then I got the idea. I said next week. I went up to him and he goes, "No, you got to go tell this person." So I wanted the HA and I wanted a backwards K then because that was kind of like a new thing.
they did do that. Yeah.
Or whatever it was, and that's how. And I didn't want them to say hardcore anymore, but
Okay.
they still did sometimes. I hated that because they were hardcore Holly in WWF then.
Right.
So I didn't want to be hardcore.
And it was gonna pigeonhole you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would pigeonhole you into like that's all you can do.
Yeah.
So
Oh wait, and we got to bring up a couple other things about here.
Oh, I still have a lot of notes
All
here.
right,
Yeah.
okay. No, let's bring it up during the Sting match.
Okay.
Okay.
So you did the Swanton bomb on the ladder. That looked like it absolutely killed.
No, I
Not.
took it all on my bottom. The shoulders didn't take any of it.
I'm a mark.
Just
though.
looks like it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know.
No, you
thought,
took
what's
it
his
on-
name? What did he?
Damian Priest. I thought he was hurt too. So okay.
Yeah, you also thought
you
I was
heard
hearing
that?
it.
Yeah.
I was about to say that until you started saying it.
Before we started recording, so guys, this is how unprofessional the talent is here. Okay? Oh wow! Yeah, this is how unprofessional. First of all, Hack's the only one. He doesn't wear a headset because he doesn't like how it makes him feel. And then before the show, we're testing the mics and everything, and Hack's like, "I hear an echo," and I'm like, "Really? I don't hear one." And I look over, and the motherfucker is never wearing his
All right,
headphones.
that story might just be as bad as the one I told earlier. I don't feel bad now. Ty edited that shit out later.
All right, that might be too inside baseball. Anyway, Jimmy Hart gets up on the apron. Knobs then hits him with the chair, which busted Hart open hard way.
Okay, but no.
I think he was busted before that.
Was he
it
busted before
didn't,
then?
Because I rewound it 3 times.
He was busted before
and
that.
Knobs, the chair went flying, but Jimmy was on the left side
Yeah.
of the chair holding it. I thought it was the chair thing, but it wasn't.
No, he
Oh.
was gigged before that.
Before then? Okay, I must have missed that.
But
then.
I didn't catch when he got gigged, but he was gigged before the chair because I noticed when he was holding the chair, he was juicing.
I don't think he did any other bumps in the match, though.
Oh, he did something with me, didn't he?
No,
I
I
thought
don't-
he did something.
He
with me.
might have got caught
Jimmy
with
was the
debris
greatest.
or something, or he might, or no, yeah.
Jimmy was awesome.
So then you nail him with the cane, and I love how you just fall back on him for
Well,
the pin.
and that's also why Brian took that chair shot so well because he knew that was the finish right then.
Yes.
And me and him need a finish out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like a this, let's do this, boom,
And I
falls,
didn't
boom,
notice,
falls.
notice it live, but on the replay, Chastity gave you a great cane throw over the
Yeah, she
top
did.
rope and
Yeah,
the
she did.
seamless
But
finish.
we were used to that. We had not practice it. We never practiced it, but we did it live a bunch of times.
Yeah. I thought this match was really fun. The post-match outcomes Hugh Morris.
No, and Brian and Bobby the Brain put me over like God.
Oh, I was just going to
Well,
get
he
I have
gets
that in my
his
notes.
shot. Yeah, well, why didn't you? You were getting ready to go home
I'm
right
not.
there and
I
not
have-
bring
I have
up
it right
that.
He's
here.
waiting for the glory hole spot.
Hold on. I have it right here. Your winner, the tough man, Hack. Is what Bobby the
No,
Brain
but
even
all
said
the
to you.
other stuff that he was saying, he just looks like he's ready for a
fighter,
fight.
yeah,
and
yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
Who's
Hack,
putting you
Hack
over?
doesn't need the weapons. He'll come out there and he'll just brawl.
Yeah, he was really putting you over. You could tell he actually enjoyed your stuff.
I mean,
man.
that's his job, though, too. But still,
He
I think
buries some
went
other
above
guys
and
on the
beyond.
show. He buries a couple of guys in the show with his commentary.
Sometimes, yeah.
So out comes Hugh Morris. They give you a spike pile driver. Then they stuffed you in a ladder, and Morris gives it a moonsault with you inside.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
He was like 97 pounds right then. He was a big boy right then. And his moonsault was just like poetry, you know, like
And
a
he
scoreboard.
knows sold it like a bitch.
And he's not going to kill, and I know he's not going to kill me. But then look what Brian does to me afterwards. Jesus Christ!
so then Brian-
250 of whatever he was weighing right now landed on my chest or whatever.
260 of the whole 250 went on you.
Brian then gets like a splash with a trash can.
You see
on
what
top
he
of the
did? He
ladder.
pancaked the trash can.
Yeah. And then he splashes you in there. It wasn't as cool as the moonsault. I feel like they should have done that first and then the
And I
moonsault
noticed
second.
both times you're covering your face.
Yeah, you got to be right here.
Yeah, that was a
And you
good
don't want
job by
that
you.
ladder to come
No,
down.
that was a good job by you. I
If
saw
you
that.
notice, I have a cut right here across my nose. and that was from a ladder in that match.
Okay.
Not from a match previous to that, because we were doing hardcore all the time.
On the road, you were working some house
No,
shows
but
with
I
him.
noticed that was a good job by you. Even though you weren't going to get hit, you were getting the recoil. You were covering both of your face and it.
They got some pretty good heat here. I thought this match for an opener, it was only 5 minutes long, but I enjoyed this for what it was. It was a good, fun, hardcore match. Ollie, what do you give this for a star rating?
1.
Wow, you bury your dad! Stop.
He's not burying me. He's burying knobs to me.
I gave it 2 stars. Ty.
For what it was,
I was just fucking around.
I give it a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hack, what do you give yourself?
Go on. I did nothing.
He gives it a 1.
I did nothing.
Wow.
But I did nothing.
I know, but it was a fun match. I enjoyed it.
Except where some brutal trash can shots of fucking knobs.
No, the most dangerous thing he hits me with is
The trash can that's already bent
and
he
it's
hits you-
upside down.
Yeah,
and he hits
and
me
he
in the
hits
gut. I love it how he's on tonight too.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dangerous. That bottom rim will break your wrist.
Yeah,
easily.
I believe it.
Totally
Yeah,
dangerous.
getting caught with a point on the trash can
it's
too much.
strongest.
You
it's
can't
not-
use it
well,
after
no,
you've done
the points
it.
are after you smash it. But the round cylinder at the bottom is 10 times, 100 times harder than the rest of the trash can.
Yep.
Yeah. Up next here, you saw a backstage segment with Piper. He ran into Buff Bagwell backstage. Piper, they're doing this thing where the young guys are trying to like talk, I don't know, get over and do some things with the old guys. Piper kind of young
It's
bulls him.
because what the internet's saying.
Yeah. Piper was young bulling him. He pulled his cheek and he was fake laughing, all serious. Then when
And then he
Buff
walks
leaves,
away. He goes, "I love kids for lunch, for
Yes.
dinner, or something like that."
setting up later in the show with that angle there.
That was horrible.
It was bad. Up next was close personal friend of the show, Mikey Whipwreck, versus
God damn it, Mikey!
Van Hammer. Look,
Straight stomp. Let's get past it.
Mikey's still sporting those fucking red shin guards
Yes.
over his boots.
I was gonna say, yeah,
pads.
Hack's knee
Knee
pads
pads,
that he
whatever
never
it is.
pulled over his
Damn, I meant to
knees.
text him during the. I just. I'm an idiot.
The only thing I got from this match is, God bless Mikey first of all for having to be put through that, because Van Hammer.
was the drizzling shits one of the worst wrestlers ever?
The thing is he's a big ass, strong looking dude, but you can tell that he's like trying to be safe. Like you can tell he's trying, but he doesn't know how.
No idea.
You know, but the one thing I took from it, I don't know if any of you caught it, when they set the steel steps up on
With the
outside,
guardrail spot.
on the outside, the guardrail spot. After he drops Mikey on the guardrail, some random chick like face pies Mikey and like pushes him down.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Oh,
A fan
I have that. I couldn't believe it.
pushes Mikey down, and Mikey kind of like is still selling, but like looks up like, dude, what are you doing? Like, he's the baby face, and like some fan chick pie faces him like and pushes him down. I'm like, what the hell was that? And
Yeah.
Mikey looks up, and that was the only thing
I did not notice that. I'm gonna have to go back and
You
watch
wrote
that.
that down, Ack?
Wow.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down, and I forgot to tell you. It also happened during the Clash.
Okay.
The thing at the castle, a fan
fan?
pie-faced wrestler.
Oh, I didn't notice
But
that
yeah,
either.
I'll find it in my notes.
My biggest note for
I'm
this
sending a text to Mikey right now.
Nice. My biggest note for this match is I guess that they had to have a cool down match after yours, Heck, because this certainly was a cool down match.
Oh yeah, they were definitely thinking about that.
They did that. They worked this abdominal stretch spot.
Dude.
It was like the worst I've ever seen anyone do
Mikey
that.
just got back to me. He goes, "Yep, right away, less than a minute."
Okay.
I was the one that gave them.
What was
They confirmed that you gave Mikey the kick pads that
Yeah.
he rocks.
And
That's
he
awesome.
never even put him around his knee once.
No, he didn't. He always rocked him around his boots, and I knew that when
It's
that?
funny.
Like 2
That's
weeks ago,
awesome.
you said that. I'm like, dude,
That's
they were
really
your
cool.
knee pads.
Yeah, they did maybe the worst abdominal stretch rope bit. Mikey got no pop for the hip toss out of it, and it was just, I mean, dude, I
It
don't
was
know.
a stunt match. It was
Yeah.
a stunt match. It was 10 minutes.
It was like a dark
Because
match.
the other guys don't want to work longer, and that's why the tag team match goes 38 minutes or
Yeah,
whatever
that
that
one
was.
went too long, too,
Mikey was
so-
put in a no-win situation
He
in that
was.
match.
No,
Like,
absolutely.
literally.
And the thing is, it's like, all right, we're gonna put this big dude over and then do nothing with him after that.
Right. Why not book?
No reason whatsoever.
The funny thing to me is, like, I saw, like, Chris Jericho was doing, like, internet announcing later in the show when, like, Sting and Rick Steiner brawled near him. Why not put, like, Chris Jericho, Mikey on this undercard? Like, just send them out there for 15 minutes. It would have been awesome.
Well, and
so anything. Like, I don't know, like, who laid this shit out, because it's
just
like,
watching this stuff. It's like if you had a good booker, you still could have made a good show. Like
with the talent they have.
yeah, like you guys probably could have survived another like 3 years maybe.
Yeah, it really is crazy.
And I don't know, Mikey could, with the spots that were being done, Mikey could have made that dude look very,
absolutely.
very
I know.
good.
There was just no saving him.
There was nothing that they put together that, like Mikey could have made that dude look very well. Like Mikey going up to the top rope, doing this, running the ropes, doing that. But it was nothing.
It's very similar to the Scotty Riggs Mikey match that we watched on the other pay-per-view leading up to this one, where it's like Mikey is the right guy to do one of these kind of matches with, but the guys he was in there with just couldn't do that kind of match.
He'll make anybody look like $1 million.
Right. It's just these guys.
It's just somebody's got to be able to work
a little bit.
Yeah,
like just a little bit. And these guys, Van Hammer wasn't it, man.
Yeah,
I mean, he's one of
let Mikey do what he does, run the ropes, like get up on the. And he ended up getting on the top rope like towards the end, but like let him do his thing, and he can make you look like $1,000 even if he can't work.
Van Hammer thinks he's getting a huge ass push right here because he's never been put in this position. He just changed his gimmick to the kind of like a hard ass biker guy is the best I could say. And then they're going to give him this squash match on a pay-per-view. He's not the greatest wrestler ever. I know the guy, and he knows he's not a great wrestler. But you got to understand, in his head, he had the Van Hammer gimmick, and then that was hot for a quick second or whatever, and then it died off. So he thinks this is his chance. He doesn't want to give Mikey anything in this match. But also that he wasn't capable of. Mikey could have called it, and maybe Van Hammer. I mean, Van Hammer goes to the second rope, sits on the top rope. Mikey pops him, jumps up, gives him a Mikey Steiner. You know what I mean? Goes to another top rope, hits him with a toe peg or something like that.
Yeah.
1, 2, kick out, shoot, reverse, hammer, bam, knocks him right down. Stuff like that.
Yeah, like
But Hammer
something to make him look good. But you're saying it's a squash match, but I don't. It was long. How long was the match, Oliver?
8 minutes.
I said it
8 minutes 35
Yeah,
seconds.
8 minutes squad match.
8 minutes is not a squash match to me.
Yeah, squash should be like 3 or less. But it was squash, though, because Mikey didn't get much offense.
No, that's my point. But that's why it was so bad.
Right.
Because if you're going to do a squash match, squash them.
Yeah, squash.
Yeah, squash them.
Dude, I totally
Believe me,
agree.
Mikey would have rather it lasted a minute and a half.
Yeah, right.
It would have been fine. Can we cut this down?
Yeah.
Right, but it just made them both look bad that it wasn't a squash match.
Yeah.
You know, there was nothing to it. No substance to it.
Mikey went up top rope. He slipped a little bit, and then Hammer drilled him with a spine buster, and then a Cobra clutch slam for the finish. This was an awful match. I have this at half a star. I don't know about you, Ollie. Seriously, I thought it was terrible, man.
No,
and it's not Mikey's fault, but
half a star just made me think of The Longest Yard.
yeah, it's half a star.
No, dude. Zero.
Zero.
Zero?
I can't even give it a star.
Yeah.
Zero. It was horrible.
Pack.
My boy's in it.
He's going 4 for
My boy Mikey's in it.
Dude,
This guy's ridiculous.
Yo, if you ever want to hate on Dave Meltzer's star ratings, just remember that Hack gave Van Hammer and Mikey Whipwreck 4 stars from the Great American
I
Bash.
gave Mikey Whipwreck 4 stars for having to put up with the whole situation.
And
Okay.
getting pie-faced by some random chick in the
Okay.
front row.
We love you, Mikey. Sorry,
There you
this wasn't fair for you, this match.
Mikey.
Up next on the show was Disco Inferno and Buff Bagwell to pick up the work rate on the show.
You're going to laugh. I thought it was the best match on the show.
Wow, this is your favorite.
Well,
Okay.
yes, very well could be.
This reminded me of like a house show match that you would see, but it was on a pay-per-view that you paid your hard-earned dollars for. Like, I don't know, man. This one,
I just hate the Disco Inferno gimmick.
I do too. Like, it's just, I don't
love
know.
it.
It's cheesy. He did it really well. Like, I'm not saying he didn't do it really well. He had the look of it. He had the dances. He had everything. But when it came to the work, I don't know, man. Disco Inferno never
It's
did
like
it
an
for me.
early 90s WWF gimmick.
Yeah, it's just lame. It's some lame shit.
Disco's work is your classic 1970s wrestler, 70 early, like that kind of era. That's the era. That's his matches. You know what I'm saying?
And that's fine. Like the work is fine, but like just the gimmick, like the disco dancer gimmick, just doesn't like get over. For
You
me.
were born in '98, so you don't really.
I don't know. Do you think right now? Does anybody think if you put that? All right. Suppose The Rock, while he had the disco outfit on, the one that the one that I love,
The pants you love.
The Versace pants.
Could the Rock get disco over right now in a second?
Yes.
No, Disco Inferno would catch a rock bottom in 3 seconds. And be
I think
gone.
Disco.
You're saying you could do that
Can
gimmick?
we give that character to somebody? There you
Yes.
go. What character that's not like a superstar that can get anything over could be your next Disco Inferno?
You can give it to somebody now and it could get over probably.
Yes,
Yeah, but what level of star?
I don't think
No,
it's the
never past the mid card with that gimmick.
No,
never past the mid card with that
And
gimmick.
if he got over right,
I don't
Not
know
doing
if
a
I don't know
disco
if it's
gimmick.
the gimmick or it's the lack of personality behind the gimmick.
It's everything.
It is a little bit lack of
No, your
personality
gimmick's the
behind
wrestling.
it. But it is,
I mean the dancing.
dude. That could have done right. That could 100% get over right now.
Yeah, but how do you do a promo talking in the 70s? You know what I mean? Would anybody
Not
even fucking get
necessarily
it?
the 70s,
You don't have
just
to
a
talk
dan-
in a
just a
certain-
dancing,
disco,
just a
disco,
dan-
disco.
Not even necessarily a disco
Maybe a little
dancer.
Italian, like something like that.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I'm
disco,
saying?
disco, like
My one note from this match:
Andrade can do it.
you know your match is not over when they're talking about the upper card during your match. they spent the whole match talking about other shit.
Honestly,
they were never talking about the match in the match.
it was a lot better when I saw those two coming out. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Not to say it was great, but I mean there was 100 shoot-ins. All they did was tackles, arm ringers, clotheslines, back body drops. They literally did. They
1970s fucking match.
They literally did nothing, absolutely nothing. But as far as this card's concerned, because I'm not putting Hack over, it was the best match on the card.
All right, Ollie, what did we ask you what you thought about this match? Totally? You got any
I
other
don't,
notes?
yeah, you guys said it all.
All right, now I'm going to go to my notes right here. You guys caught it in the Bailey match, but you missed it in this match. Buff is coming straight off the NWO straight heel. It took him a minute for Buff to change the match into him working babyface, because Disco wasn't no babyface at that time.
Right.
But Buff knew that fucking he was actually more the babyface in the match.
Buff
that
was
was
lead-
very obvious
Yeah, but
to me, being a wrestler.
Yeah.
But if you notice in the very beginning of the match, they did the turnbuckle thing where Buff went to the turnbuckle and he got cheered, and then he went to Disco, and Disco was going to go to the turnbuckle, and he got booed. He didn't even go up, and then Buff went back up. So he immediately knew.
Switch
that
it up,
He
dude.
immediately
Just
knew that he
switch
was
it up.
the baby.
That's what pros do.
Yeah. So Buff pump faked him with the blockbuster.
Because Buff was always a baby before he went with
the
Papa
NWO.
Pump and stuff like that. He
Yeah.
was your ultimate baby
Right.
back then.
So Buff pump faked him on the blockbuster, and then he hit him with one, and the finish looked like shit.
Oh, I said I got misfinished.
Yeah, the finish looked like shit. Like, I don't know what happened. He just missed him, and he landed. Disco sold it well. He did take a nice bump on it, but it just didn't get all of them.
Wait, what was it for? What did he miss
The
again?
Buff blockbuster. So he's going up top rope, and it's like a top rope
The jumping
flipping
neck breaker. I thought it was actually set up well.
Yeah.
Like it was
With
set
the
up
pump
well.
fake.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just because they set it up earlier in the match when he was going for it and Disco rolled away.
Right.
And they set it up actually well, but they just missed the execution on the finish itself.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys gave this for star rating. I gave this one a half a star as well. Ollie. He's like-
Zero.
Dude, you guys, to
I
me,
give it a-
for what it was.
I give it a 3.
Yeah, for what it was, I don't know. I didn't expect anything more.
Honestly, I was.
And it was actual. You could have done that if you put two other guys in that match back in the 70s. That could have been a barn burner.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I actually was kept entertained. throughout the whole thing. Like, I was entertained. Like, they did portray the match itself well, even though I don't think there was really any work done.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I thought it was, like, okay. Like, it was better than I expected, to be honest with you. Like, the timing was actually pretty good. The way that they portrayed the story in the match was actually pretty good. I just thought they didn't do anything.
Yeah, they did not do a whole lot. I did not really care for it much. But next up on the show was Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Also, hold on.
Okay.
One of the things, there's no way that those two want to go out there and outshine the next 3 matches.
So you think they kind of held...
No,
Dude,
I thought
those
they worked
guys
well.
are... yeah, I know, but they're old school.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean? They don't want to go
worked
down
well.
and try and burn the house fucking down. Because you don't do that. And, you know what I'm saying?
It's a different mindset back then.
Because Bagwell was with all those top dudes. Now he's like supposedly down to this level now that he's not with them. You think he wants to make them look bad by having a great match before one of them? You know, you just have to understand what goes on, like in the back, compared to what happens out in the ring.
It's not like it is today where everybody goes out there trying to have the best match on the show every match.
ECW, nobody cared. That's
Right.
why our shows were 4 or 5 hours. You know what I
Right.
mean? Nobody cared. Ball's like, just go out there and get over.
Right. Next up on the show was Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Kurt Hennig and Bobby Duncombe Jr. Hack, do you have any memories of Bobby Duncombe Jr.?
Okay, here we go. You're going to my end, but all right. Remember how I told you guys that I had worked with people on like Saturday nights, and like 4 or 5 of them have died. This is one of them that I couldn't remember. So as soon as it comes on, I'm like, okay. It came right up. I was like, Wikipedia, Bobby Duncombe Jr. What day did he die on? Monday, the 24th of January. So that was a guy that I worked with, and I remember I was in Worcester, Massachusetts, and like it was a really quaint. It was kind of almost like New York and Queens, just a hair bigger. And I worked with him that night, and he was one of the ones that died on Monday.
Wow.
So
Rest
the
in
kiss
peace,
of
man.
death. You don't want to work Hack on a weekend.
Well, I'm trying to remember the other. There's 4 others. Oh, Crash Holly. I didn't work with him, but me and the red guy are in TNA in Memphis. We're snorting coke. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Crash Holly like knocks on our door or something. Me and the red guy. We never slept on Wednesday night.
Do you mean the Sinister Minister?
Yeah.
Okay. The red guy for the audience.
I don't know, that's just what I call him. And I would never go. I just saw him not too long ago. I'm like, hey, red guy. I wasn't going up like, oh, Sinister or oh, James, which is his real name. Yeah, but he passed out. He came right in and passed out on our bed. That was a Wednesday night. He died the next Monday. So that's 2 of them. I'll come up with the rest.
Okay. Rest in peace, Crash Holly, as well. So this match, I really like this match, actually. I thought that they did some really good stuff in here.
Let's talk about them coming down the aisle.
Okay.
Dude, I was rolling with... Now imagine this. At this time, I'm rolling with me, Ray, at the clubs every night.
Conan.
Me, Ray, Conan, Psychosis,
Silver King.
Juventud, Billy Kidman.
Weren't you hanging out with Silver King a lot then, too?
Oh, yeah, Silver King was one of our group.
So they were
Okay.
getting you pussy.
Nah, I didn't even care.
You were their large Latino brother?
But you see the gas mask that they came out with?
Yes.
Ray would, every single night, we would roll into every club with that gas mask on.
Really?
Yeah, and they used to get a Vicks. I think I might have tried it once, or maybe didn't even try it because I never like snorting shit up my nose that was legal. But they would get a Vicks vapor rub and stick it in. You know how they have those filters at the bottom of the gas mask? That's what those big round things are, the filters. So they would do the ecstasy and then like crush it up, snort it, whatever, and then huff that Vicks vapor rub into their head, and that's what they were doing in the clubs.
Wow. So that's what these
Ray
masks...
Rowland, dude, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. I thought it was the greatest thing ever, hanging out with these guys. And you got to understand too, we're hanging out with all
Even in
the
the
Hawaiian
States?
Tropics girls this summer.
Even in the States, like, they were letting you in with the gas mask and shit?
Yeah, dude, it was ecstasy clubs.
Okay.
Back then,
Okay,
they
yeah.
were hot as shit. And Conan would literally come in with anybody. Now imagine going into your kitchen and getting a sandwich bag, just a sandwich baggie that would carry one sandwich in it. Conan would show up for weekends with a half a bag of ecstasy pills. He was getting them for $5 a piece in Mexico, and he'd come with hundreds of them, in a half a sandwich bag. And that's just what we would. Dude, I think I rolled. All right, when you're saying you're rolling, that's like when you're doing ecstasy. Probably 70 out of 90 days of that summer.
Okay.
Hanging out with the Hawaiian Tropics girls, being the MC for their world competition and shit in Jacksonville. What a summer!
What a summer!
Dude, you rolled into a club with Rey Mysterio. Wow, once he took his mask off, and Billy Kidman and Hooven too. Biggest street chick magnets. The couple are like Chris Chetty was a pretty big chick magnet. ECW. Danny Doring was good, but when you're rolling in a club with those three, it's just insane.
The women
to watch them like falling all over those guys. It was great.
Okay, that's awesome, man. I'm really glad that you broke down Conan.
I got a good story in tonight. I'm 1 for 2. About 500.
Okay.
For the Castellano. Hey, he sees kids selling his new T-shirt more than his dad is.
No, I didn't see that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because his kid, when his dad, his third walk-off hit or whatever it was, the kid went crazy. So,
Well, he strikes out less than his dad, so.
I hear that.
I thought these guys had a really good match. They hit a lot of cool double team moves from Conan and Ray to start the match. And then Master P slapped Kurt heading from behind outside of the ring, which I thought was a cool spot, getting them involved. They were sitting ringside. Bobby Duncombe Jr., man, he was so big and was bumping really big for Ray, I thought. I was really impressed with his work in this match.
Oh, Bobby could work. As I was watching it, and it reminded me how much back then he reminded me of Barry Windham when Windham was in the 80s. I saw a lot of Barry Windham and like the way he would take bumps, the way he would jump through the ropes.
Yeah, this like whole Rap is Crap and the No Limit Soldiers and West Texas Rednecks feud, it like didn't really go a whole lot of places because some of the booking was really bad, but the talent involved was really good. I mean, you got Barry,
Both sides.
Both sides, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had some really good talent.
I just remembered another story.
Okay.
All right, so they were called the Filthy Animals then.
Yes.
And Conan went to Bischoff one night. He didn't even tell me. He told me after the fact. He goes, I went to Bischoff and I said, I want you in the Filthy Animals. He goes, no fucking way.
You didn't want to go in?
No, Bischoff said
didn't
that.
want you in.
I would have went in a second.
Oh man, that would have been awesome if you were in the Filthy Animals.
Yeah,
dude.
I know, but Rabbit Crab got over more than they did at the end.
I know, but they survived and had a whole nother run with Russo and everything. Like, if you had survived till the fall, I feel like you would have had some really cool stuff in WCW.
Yeah,
like,
Russo, I don't know. Russo might have given me some good stuff.
I think he would have loved you.
Because it was a straight TV show then.
Yeah, like who's more TV than you?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know about that, but
well,
Hacking the Filthy Animals would have been fucking hilarious.
yeah, rolling on
The
ecstasy in the
economy of
backstage. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect with that
economy
group.
was great.
Wow, this is some fantasy booking.
Yeah,
I never
you
realized.
understand? I took me and Conan on. Dude, I told you the first time I was in the ring with him was up at Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, when at the locker room that you could die easily. There's like a 400-foot cliff.
I remember that locker room now that you said that.
Yeah, I'm in the ring doing my match. Conan's not even in the building yet. I'm killing time in the ring before my finish until I get the cue that Conan's there. I had been in Japan because I told the story about I stayed in Japan for a couple extra days because I didn't get paid by Ibaragi the very first time I was there in Wing. And Jason the Terrible, Ralphie, I went over to his apartment each day and just watched tapes for like 8-10 hours a day. And then I was what was I talking about?
You're talking about Conan in the ring.
Oh
Jim
yeah,
Thorpe.
Conan. So I knew what Conan did. He did that Luthez press or whatever. So Conan gets in the ring, starts hitting me. I cut him off. I shoot him in, and I tell him to hit me with the Thez press. And only because I spent the 2 extra days. I had no idea what to call out there, but I put him over right away, and he loved it.
So you knew what his spots were
Yeah.
without ever meeting him, and so
Yes.
he loved that about you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. All because you had to hang in Japan and watch tapes with Jason the Terrible.
And I got the money afterwards. I told you I was
Yes.
leaving, and Ralphie, who never had any reason reason to get on a train to race me to the airport for 2 G's.
Great
Just
guy.
because he's a great dude.
Great dude.
You know who he is, right? The guy at WrestleMania?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember you were on Conan and Disco's podcast, and they were talking about, and he was like, Sandman, that mother effer can lay it in, but I knew you could lay it in on him as well, so that's why I respected you.
Who said that?
Conan. He said, he goes, that MFer would lay it in, but I knew you could lay it in back on him, and that's why we got along so great. That's why I knew I respected him.
This match, I enjoyed the work here. They did some cool stuff where Ray took over Bobby Duncombe Jr. And then Barry Windham ran in with work gloves on. I love how they put over the fact.
Wait a minute. Let's get over the fact how, to me, it was like every time Kurt was in there with Ray, he ragdolled him. He just pie-faced him, like shoved him aside. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
Kurt was great in that. The heat on Ray was way too long.
Yeah, they had a false hot there at one point.
And the ref spots were horrible. Trying to get like the ref, like there was way too many Conan trying to come in the ring. The ref like
They could have the referee in their ear saying, "Keep it going, boys. We need another 5 minutes out of you."
But they were horrible. Like they didn't say.
Well, I know,
like,
but
they
that's
didn't
what
say-
all you do is
right,
the
But
heat
I'm
does.
just saying, like the refs
And
back.
Kurt
with-
Ray
the
would
ref
spot.
the ref would look at Henning
Yes.
and the other guy, and
They'd
they'd
be like,
be in
"What's
the
going
ring,
on?"
and then they'd be like, "No, that guy." And Conan would be like, "Oh shit, I got to get in the ring." Then he gets in the ring, and then the ref turns around and fight. Like they just made the ref look bad for whatever reason, and I thought the heat was just way too long. It's just.
It was a
Those
little.
are the only like couple things that I got. Like, all right, guys, we get it. You're getting heat. Like this is, and like you said, they might be telling them to like keep going, but
Stretch it, boys. You know, do we want to see the other matches any longer than we had to see them?
Yeah, no, probably not. You know what I mean?
Macho Man's like in the back saying, "Yo, man, make them go another 5 minutes." I can't believe I just pulled that out.
Wow, okay.
and I got one thing on the finish that I don't know if any of you caught, but
Go ahead. Hit the finish, Todd.
that was good.
It was a good macho. Which is
so-
funny. We have a question about
I've
that,
probably
too.
never done it in like the last 20 years.
Like, who was it that came out with the work gloves?
Barry Windham.
Yeah, so they hit the hot
Not to be
tag.
confused with Barry Windham Clark.
That's right. Barry
Yeah.
Windham Clark.
They hit the hot tag to Conan, finally. And then they do their whole spot. Barry Windham Clark comes out. And then Bobby Heenan goes, I don't even know who's legal. And then it's Shivani. He goes, oh, it's Conan. He just got the tag or whatever. And not only a minute later, Ray hits him and Ray gets the pin
Yeah,
as,
it made them look awful.
as the non-legal man.
Yeah.
Why would you even mention it?
Right.
As
You don't
an
know.
announcer? I mean, you're saying a lot of words. You got to say some stupid shit.
I don't
Yeah.
4
know
or
if
5
he.
times a
I don't
night.
know if he assumes that. I guess he assumes that they're not going to go home with Ray, but he goes, I don't even know who the legal man is. And Swanee's like, oh, it's Conan. He just, whatever. Not only a minute later, Ray hits him with the shit off the top rope or whatever, and Ray gets the pin, and it's like, well.
Yeah.
What did I say about the finish?
I didn't like the finish of the guy running in. It wasn't clean. And then my note for the match too. This is the second time tonight where the winners of the match then immediately had the heat taken right from them with the run in.
Me?
You, and then this happened again in this match too. And I also didn't like how.
Well, stay tuned for the rest.
Yeah, I also didn't like how the No Limit Soldiers, like after being boys with them, just like completely got taken away by security and let them get the shit beat out of them afterwards.
No, what dude had a chest, had like a 96-inch chest.
Big swole.
Swole or whatever.
Swole. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I've never seen a chest like that.
Yeah, the guy was
The guy had
gigantic.
to bench like 800, 850,
He was huge, man.
like 4 or 5 times.
He was huge. I do have a question about the No Limit Soldiers for you, Hack. Do you ever remember anything coming about backstage where they apparently pulled a gun on Eric Bischoff?
Never heard it.
Okay.
Oh, believe me, that's something I would probably remember.
Bischoff has talked
Hack
about
was
it
in
where
the closet.
Bischoff has talked about where one of the guys in the No Limit Soldiers like kind of like gestured towards like reaching for a
Okay,
piece.
you just said pulled a gun. You didn't say gesture towards.
Well,
difference.
Other people have said a gun was actually pulled, so I don't know if you ever heard anything about it. So I was
no.
asking. Okay, I don't know.
Sounds
what you
like bullshit to me.
guys, I don't know what you
It
guys.
makes no sense.
I don't know what you guys are giving this match. I would go like 2.5 stars on it, Ollie.
Yeah, I agree.
What match is it again?
It's the
It
tag
doesn't
match.
matter. You're throwing up a 4.
The Ray and Conan versus the West Texas Rednecks.
Ray, Bobby,
They're friends.
Kurt.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so that's a 4.
I love
3
them all,
friends
Conan.
equals a 4. It doesn't get a 5 out of you, or a 12, or
1.5.
1.5. All right. Up next on the show was Horace Hogan filling in for Scott Norton, who no-showed, versus Ernest the Cat Miller. Bobby the Brain.
Cat.
That was his nickname.
I know. It just,
Bobby
I know.
sucks.
On Cage Match, it just says the cat.
The Cat?
Yeah, that's why it's funny.
So Bobby the Brain Heenan said, "This match has been very brutal." And then, oh no, I'm sorry, that was what Tony Schiavone said. And then Bobby the Brain said, "All Cats matches are brutal." I love Bobby the Brain Heenan when you could tell he's obviously been drinking on a pay-per-view, just having fun. What did you think of this match? Because I thought it absolutely sucked. It was terrible. There was nothing going on. Hack, any stories of Ernest the Cat Miller in WCW?
Yeah, obviously. All right, so does anybody know the only reason why the Cat was there?
Yes, he was friends with Sonny Ono and Bischoff.
Well, and Bischoff's a karate dude.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's the whole freaking reason. I mean, Sonny might have been the go-between. You know what I mean? Like he is with the Dragon or whatever now. But he got his job because of Bischoff, and he might have been disliked as much as Taz in the locker room, just from the guys that I know. Heat magnet. One day we're flying from, I don't know, like Bismarck, North Dakota to Utah. It's a small plane, and there's like 40 of us big dudes on it. I get on, and nobody's supposed to be sitting next to me, and then and the Cat's sitting in my seat. So I'm like, seriously, dude? And he just gave me this like shit-eating grin, right? So then like 2 steps down, I grab him, need a seat. I'm like, you? He goes, yeah, come on, sit next to me, yeah. So when we get down, after the plane ride's over, we're down by luggage, waiting for our luggage to come out. Because you couldn't carry, the plane's so small, there's no like real overhead bins to to put in your carry-on. And Bigelow's the first one that comes up to me, and he goes, dude, you have any problem with that motherfucker, you come to talk to me. 2 minutes later, Scott Norton comes up to me, because me and Scott were cool. We always used to bullshit. He was one of the boys. He goes, dude, you got a problem with that motherfucker, you come talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Everybody.
Dude, I ain't fighting no karate champ. Right? Now in a small quarters, I would have had a better chance if I would have. But I'm not jumping on him now in an airplane. You know what I'm saying? Fuck.
Wow. Okay.
In the smaller quarters, maybe a better chance. But dude, he's a karate champion.
Yeah.
Like Olympic or something, wasn't he?
I don't think he was Olympics or anything like that.
I don't know. He was a cat.
This match was nothing at all, man. Horace Hogan. Any memories of working with him or any stories of him?
Yeah, we only did one match. It was. Whatever their booker was, it was a 5-way cane match. Knobs was in the cell. I'm on to the ring. I'm coming to the ring. There's 4 guys in the ring already. It's Knobs, Horace Boulder, and two other guys that I can't remember right now.
This is in WCW?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I come into the ring. I dive under the bar, but I got the shit beat out of me by 4 guys with canes because. Dude, like you're laying down, and they're hitting you with the last six inches the foot of the cane. You know what I mean? That's just that's like a baseball bat compared if you hit somebody right above your hands. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got my ass worn out in that match. But that was the only time he was in a match with me.
Okay.
He just looked like shit in a singlet.
He did. He didn't.
He's Hogan's nephew.
He was Hogan's nephew.
Shit in a singlet. The only thing I have on
I was making less than me.
Damn.
I remember him telling me when I made, he goes, "What?"
Oh wow!
I think he was making like 175.
I wonder if he went to his uncle.
Yeah, but his uncle knew.
The only thing I have on this match is, other than it was the shits, was the finish. How they pulled the shoe out.
Yes.
The slipper.
Yeah, he puts the slipper on for the finish.
That's what I call it.
And so Ernest doesn't wear shoes, but he puts the shoe on and super kicks him.
No, Ernest did. Ernest had done that dancing thing before.
No, I know that.
Okay.
But he hits him with the super kick and throws away the shoe as if it's a foreign object. a shoe is not a foreign object when you don't wear any shoes.
Wow, we're really getting deep.
Could have been a
now,
loaded.
Ty.
It could have been a loaded dancing shoe.
But I'm just saying, the guy.
Yeah, no reason to have to throw it out
Yeah.
like you did too.
Yeah,
Right,
no reason to
that's what I'm-
kayfabe it.
That's
hide
what
it.
I'm saying. Why are you kayfabing a shoe?
Yeah,
Like,
Who throws a shoe?
honestly. Like,
Honestly, I give this match 0
that was the only
stars.
thing I
Yeah,
caught. I'm
I'm
like,
right
dude, you
there
don't
with
wear
you.
any shoes. The other guy's wearing shoes, and you pull it on one and hit him with a super kick, and you got to toss it out the ring like you're kayfabing.
I don't know. Freaking, what's his name? William Regal beat me with a shoe when I was going to be the new commissioner of SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah, but he had it in his hand. He was using it as a foreign object. Ernest just put a shoe on that he didn't have.
Star ratings on this
And
one.
he backed it up with his dancing. His dance is given a 4 for me, even though I don't like it.
He did kill it with the James Brown imitation.
Like right on.
Like spot on. They really good dance moves. Yeah.
Boo.
Boo hiss.
Yes.
Boo hiss. Puke sounds. Up next was Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. Man, these are two absolute fucking legends of the business, but man, this was not their night. They looked like, I put down, it looked like two drunk uncles of yours having too much to drink at Thanksgiving and going at it. This was just not a good match, and it was kind of embarrassing. I was like, damn.
Flair just pops me.
I love Flair.
It was my
Like-
it was my favorite match just because of Piper and Flair and
Like,
like
I
their
love them-
antics
I
and what
love
they're
them both.
doing.
Yeah, like you're saying, like I love Flair's antics. I love Piper's antics. I love their shtick, but man, the work here was just not on.
It wasn't on. Like,
It was off.
You knew. Yeah. Like,
For lack of a better term.
and dude, I could call out a Flair match when I was 8 years old. Me and Hack would be watching the show, and I could call out a Flair match. I was waiting for the flip bump over the turnbuckle, but it never actually happened.
He can't do it. No,
but-
he could.
Yeah, but him, the back body drop, the press off of the top rope. I mean, his selling where he does the face bump, and then the begging, like no,
Yeah.
Flair just popped me. It didn't catch. None of the work caught, but he just popped me.
My
in general.
favorite spot in the match is where they do the ref shoving spot, and so Flair grabs the rope and doesn't actually take the bump with it, and then Piper just hits him with a straight shot, and then Flair
then
takes
he
the
went-
bump.
yeah.
That was my favorite spot in the match. That popped me big time. But like other than that, man, this was not very good at all.
I was actually Googling while I was watching this. So one of them's 49 and one of them's 45 at this point.
Okay,
I forget what it was.
I would say Flair's the older one.
Yeah, so you have to, one was born in 55, one was born in 59. Wow, Hack. I just see if it's numbers, I remember that shit. And I'm probably right on that.
When's my birthday?
September 14th.
All right.
Wow,
Oh no! So yes, everything that Ty said. Yes, I love play. I was just like when I know it's coming up, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be entertained. I know it's not gonna be a match, man, but I know I'm gonna be entertained just because I love both of those dudes.
Yeah, they're not. It's not Mid-Atlantic in '85. You know, like you're not getting the premium work here at this point. But
Yes, but honestly, they might have done a little more, but they weren't like neither one of them's going to the top rope. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's a high flyer, so their match probably wouldn't have been much different. Like 15 years before that,
a lot tighter though.
No, it just wasn't
tighter,
as crisp. Yeah, it just wasn't as crisp.
Right. Well, yeah, but just because they're ground kind of guys, you know?
I thought there was way too many low blows in the match. There was like,
Oh, eye pokes. Nobody
Yeah.
sells an eye poke for more than half a second. The low blows. Flair begged too often, like 3 different times, you know?
yeah, and the sunset flip spot that looked like it took an hour. Like that was just like the slowest sunset flip I think I've ever seen. Like, I don't know, man. A sleeper got put on by Piper, and then Arn.
Did you see how loose that was?
Super loose.
My
Loosey
God,
goosey, yeah.
seriously?
Yeah.
His head can spin around like it was, what's that?
Exorcist?
Yeah.
And
That's funny you guys noticed that, too. I didn't think you guys would.
Arn came in, and then Ric Flair used some knucks to finally cover Piper, but that was a near fall for 2. And then Flair locked on a figure 4, and then used Arn for some leverage. And then Buff Bagwell ran out to save Piper, and we get a DQ. I'm like, this finish is the drizzling shits. This was awful. I did not like the finish. Then Piper laid out Bagwell, and immediately turned on him for like helping save him. I have no idea why. And then the two of them double-teamed Bagwell with Arn Anderson, and they went to work with him on a strap. I guess this is setting up like...
Who is booking this crap?
At this point, Kevin Nash...
I know, but...
I mean...
Because you know what it is? It's... No one person is booking the top 4 matches, let's say.
Right.
It's like a different booker for every match.
Yeah.
Because who's telling Roddy Piper and Flair what to do in their match?
No one.
So they're like, well, we need something to happen because neither one of us is getting pinned. Oh, well, that's Bagwell's just been thrown out of the NWO. We put him over tonight. Let's throw him out there. Oh, but then after he goes out there and beats you up, you're going to turn on him, and you two are going to be partners then.
Dude.
It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
It was really bad.
For the whole night.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you that everybody's booking their own match.
Right.
There ain't one guy that's saying no to anybody about anything.
I think it just speaks to the issues at the time for the company where they don't have a cohesive direction, and it really shows throughout this card where, again, Ali, you said it earlier, where like it's not a lack of talent because there's a lot of stars and a lot of talent on this card still. It's just poor positioning of everyone pretty much, and that goes top to bottom pretty much on this whole card. I don't know what you guys gave it as a star.
All
rating.
right.
What do you give it as a star?
I kind of disagree with you about the last thing that you just said.
Why?
Because there's a lot of guys that are workers, but we haven't even gone over there. I'll save this.
Save it though.
I'll
Sure.
save it for a minute.
Okay. What do you guys give it as a star rating? I would go 2 stars.
2.
I go 1.
Okay, Hack.
What match are we doing again?
Flair and Piper.
A fucking 5.
5-star classic.
It's Flair Piper.
It's one of the best matches
I
ever.
can't give those two dudes less than a 5.
It's always
I don't care.
Okay.
Not doing
You
it.
fucking mark.
Up next on the show was Sting and Rick Steiner, and this was hardcore
Yeah.
and non-title for no reason. I did not like this either, and
All
I
right,
hated
let me tell you, this is a hack story right
Go
here.
ahead.
I don't even have it in my notes, probably. So, when you get to the level, like when they're putting me over and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Then the top guys want to use you to get over. So, once I got a little bit bigger with the Bigelow thing, the next thing you know, I'm working Monday night against Nash. I'm doing a Nash thing. And then the next thing you know, what they want to do is they put me in against Rick Steiner.
I remember this with the limo.
No.
Wasn't there a car
No,
spot
that
involved?
was me, Bigelow, and Raven with the limo. They tried to charge us for it. They did. Bigelow's like, no, that ain't happening.
I
We
thought
all
you
got
got
our
laid
money
out
back.
with Rick Steiner on the car.
No. This was the one with the Jeep.
You're
okay.
You're probably right, Tosh.
No.
I'm 100% right when I know what the finish is. So, me and Rick Steiner are in a hardcore match, and I know I'm just getting used for this. So, we brawl to the back. This is probably a couple weeks before what we're watching right here. And then we brawl to the back, and Rick's supposed to beat me up, and then Sting's supposed to come out of nowhere. Like from behind this Jeep that they had there. So I know I'm doing funk out of the box. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, guys, why don't we do this? Why doesn't Rick throw me in through the top of this freaking Jeep, and then he pulls Sting out? Everybody was like, yes, that's what we're doing. So we did that, so they just used me to put somebody over because they put me over for weeks on TV, you know what I'm saying? But that's how the wrestling game works because there's no way I'm breaking the upper echelon then. I could have been the greatest worker known to man at that point, but you weren't breaking that ceiling.
Yeah.
At that point. You were getting used.
Okay, so they would try to like siphon some heat from you.
Well, sure, and I didn't care.
Right, you
They'll
knew your
get
role.
paid.
You knew your role.
It's It's a job.
Yeah, it's a job. You didn't take it like personal. That you
No.
that you weren't
I
going
was
to
just
go.
glad to use my idea.
So this was like a hardcore match. I don't think they did a lot of like really hardcore stuff in this match. They did like a pile driver spot on the outside that didn't look too good. They did a little brawling. Steiner hit Sting with a chair. He did hit him with a beer as well. Sting did come back. Did a Stinger splash hitting the barricade. The pile driver was after that. They did a couple German suplexes, and Steiner was throwing a lot of bombs on him. I don't know. What did you guys think of the work in this match? Before, I mean, it was kind of long. And
They did 11 spots in like 9 minutes.
yeah. Okay. And then they end up going to the back after Sting had the deathlock on, and Steiner crawled out underneath. They fight to the internet location where we see Jericho with Mark Madden, and then out comes Tank Abbott in the back waiting with 2 Dobermans. And
What
then,
a character, Tank. Oh, that was so bad.
and then a Rottweiler with Scott Steiner. They
Oh my
let the
God.
dogs go, and then you see like Doug Dillinger in the security,
God.
and then the camera cuts away. That was so terrible. They show the dogs attacking, and
no,
obviously
that was
fake
as bad
Sting.
as the throw off the roof
It was so terrible.
with the Big Show.
It was one of, if not the worst finishes for a wrestling match
No,
I've ever
did
seen.
you notice had Sting when the dog was on his hand? He had something on his
Wrapping,
hand like
yes.
that. The trainer says, "Here,
towel.
wrap this on your hand,
Well,
and
it
we'll
was
do
the
this."
Tank Abbott towel that he was choking him with, and then Sting had it on his hand,
Yeah.
and that.
Oh.
So that's how they transformed it.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, I don't say whatever. You can say ruined or not, but the
No,
dog's
not
trained to not bite you.
No,
That dog
yeah,
is-
it was Tank Abbott was choking Sting with like a snot rag type
Right.
towel, and then Sting like kind of got away from Tank Abbott and had it around his hand, so the dog was chewing on the towel
Right.
on his hand, and then
Yeah.
the other dog was chewing on like his knee pad
Yo,
or
and why
whatever.
was Tank so huge then? Did he win like a one? Like I
He
don't
was a
remember.
UFC dude
Yeah,
that was,
I know,
like,
but
pretty
I don't
big.
remember how long his star lasted.
He was not like a headliner in UFC.
When
but-
was he there though? Like was he
WCW?
there? I know. Was he there when Shamrock was
Yes,
big?
yes,
Yeah.
in that time period
Okay.
of UFC. And obviously in the wrestling world, he never got it going. Like, it just didn't translate into wrestling for some reason. Like, Shamrock did, Tank Abbott didn't. Like, sometimes these MMA guys are misses, sometimes they're huge hits. Tank Abbott just
He
didn't.
tried to pull too much of the UFC gimmick, where Shamrock kind of did.
That's what he was
both.
getting told to do. That's
Yeah.
where their crossover
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Well, they were building him up to Goldberg and him, and it just never really took off or anything. And this finish was absolutely horrible. They don't even show you a finish. They just kind of, I don't know, they declared Rick Steiner the winner as Scott Steiner came out afterwards, and they kind of bullied the ref. It was awful. It was like a really...
Raise my brother's hand.
And Papa Pump didn't even. Oh no, Rick took the mic, and I don't know. Rick's never been good on the mic. That's why Scott always had it.
Yeah, he did that. He did the, just the whatever routine he does.
Yeah,
And then he
it
said
stunk.
Baltimore is a shitty city. That was the end of that.
I think I booed then,
That
but
was
I was in my hotel room at that point.
That was a absolutely terrible match. One of the worst finishes ever. I give that like negative stars. That was horrible. Ollie,
Yeah, it's gross.
it's gross.
I'll abstain.
1.
One, I go negative.
I have to
Tom,
abstain.
You abstain. You're abstain.
We have our first abstinent.
I'm surprised you're not like, yeah, Rick Steiner was cool. This was horrible. Up next.
No, Rick big timed me in that match.
Really?
Yeah, but I understood it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I knew I was getting nothing. I'm in Sting fucking Rick Steiner angle.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting used for. You know what I'm saying?
But he big timed you?
Well, yes, but that's the way it was supposed to be.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, you got used, bitch.
Pussy.
Joke's on you, man.
I know, but you're stupid if you don't know what's going on.
Right.
there. You
No,
know
we
what I
talked
mean?
about this last week with like balls.
It's their biggest angle that they're building up to the pay-per-view. It might have been the week before that.
Yeah. Up next on the show was the WCW Tag Team Title match, and just watching the video package before this,
Is it still going on?
Yeah.
It's still going. Dude, Macho Man, the Dash, they're like, come on, bleed this thing out, boys. You gotta go out there for 35.
They had
How long was it, Ollie?
19 minutes,
Oh,
13
God, it
seconds.
seemed way
it felt
longer.
35.
Yeah, it seemed way longer.
Yeah, Benoit's still getting heat.
Do you think Nash and Macho Man had to have like another couple of beers before they went out there? Like, what? Why do you think
I
they
have no
stretched
idea
this?
what they were doing.
Man,
That's DDP.
this was Benoit and Saturn versus
DDP wasn't really a drinker.
Canyon
No,
and
I'm
DDP.
saying he was trying to get whatever.
Get the match over as
Yeah.
long. That's what
Oh
I
no!
said.
What do you? Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because I wasn't even looking at my notes at this point. But that's exactly why they were out there for so long because DDP's running that whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's out there for all that because him and Eric like this. That's why I got a job there. Raven got a job there.
Yeah,
Barry got a
DDP's
job
out
there.
there. Bigelow's
There's
out
another
there.
60
There's-
dudes
yeah.
that got jobs because of him. DDP could do whatever the hell he wanted.
Yep.
Yeah. So it started with
And if you're going to change the title, right? Did they change the title on this?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you weren't at 19, dude. It just seemed like it was so much longer. But you know what I mean? You're not going out there for a 10-minute match unless you're like Vince WrestleMania 1986 or something and changing the title in 8 minutes and 60 or 50 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need to put in some time if you're going to do a title change.
Okay.
That's that. I know DDP, and I know that's the psychology. We're putting a little
That's
time
what I
in there.
said.
boys.
He's
I mean,
doing-
this match
yeah.
had 2 hot tags.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like 2 hot.
and a half-ass one.
And it's not like
To me.
it's not like your Rock and Roll Express wrestling here where you can get away with 2 hots. Like this wasn't that. Like this was just I don't know. Do you guys enjoy this match? 'Cause-
It was just a weird matchup as far as wrestling styles go. So it's like you can't do fast paced work. So you're going slow, but the match is going too slow. So it's I don't know where you're finding your balance in.
yeah, I've enjoyed all these guys' work a lot over the years, but this combination of them didn't do it for me, and I thought it was way too long and just didn't ever get going.
It was the whole dichotomy of the match.
Yeah,
You don't, because it seems like DDP, Canyon, and Bigelow are trying to almost start this faction, and
they
then
are
you
the
have
Jersey Triad.
yeah, and then you have Benoit and you have Perry Saturn, who were I guess newly named tag champions or whatever, and like you said, the 2 hot tags. I think it was it Benoit that was. It was the same thing with the Rey Mysterio thing. The heat was way too long. Everything they got, but that's all. Like I said, DDP working that thing, and I think they're trying to get Canyon over.
They were. You could tell.
Yeah.
That's DDP's boy.
Oh, Canyon was a
they're trying
really
to get,
good worker. He
Right.
could do a
Oh,
lot.
dude, he was great.
Yeah.
He was great.
He did
Yeah.
most of the work in the match. If you watch the match, but they're trying to get Canyon over, and nothing really came to fruition.
It's all you had to do was take 5 minutes off this match, and it could have been
Pick up the pace.
and it could
Yeah.
have been way better.
And
Yeah.
dude, and Benoit and Perry, they're both such good workers. You could do such good work in that match. It just never really clicked. Like I said, the whole dichotomy of the match just fell short. And Bigelow was underutilized, if you ask me, in the entire thing. Why is he even out there? You got one heat spot when the ref turned his back, and then other than that, there was nothing really for him to do. But
Yeah,
it was just way too long.
Yeah, I did not really care for the match. Dean Malenko came out to try to help Saturn.
Oh, and that was all botched.
Yeah, it was. It was all you could tell the wires were crossed.
It was so. The ref was waiting for them for 25 minutes, saying yo, come on guys, and then he was late to turn around for the pin.
Yeah, Hack.
Yeah, because he got the cue late. He was getting a cue from somebody, whether it was a hand signal or whatever. Chris with the heat, way too long,
Yeah, so I said the heat was way too long.
and it shouldn't have been on him.
You think it should have been reversed?
Well, yeah, on fucking Perry.
Yeah.
All right, I got Perry Small
That's a good
Man
point.
Complex because that's just what he had, and he was all jacked up. Now he's 120 pounds.
Small man complex. What do you mean?
Yeah, because he was short. Perry was
Okay.
all short as Taz.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But he was wearing freaking 40, 50 pounds of steroid muscle.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
Lifters?
lifters.
No!
Oh, okay. All right.
No, but yeah, but
No, not like
because Perry's small,
Bronson.
dude. If
Not
you're
like Bronson Reed.
Yeah, but Perry could go.
Yes.
That dude could
He could
go.
work, dude.
He could jump. Perry was way more suited for a Japanese or
Very
a
good
Japanese strong style. I'm not saying back in those days that it would have been because all we knew were there were big guys that would beat the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? So, but they could have been Perry could have been an undercard in Japan easily. You know what I mean? Because he had that mentality.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but on the other side, Perry wasn't easy to get along with. So he goes over to Japan and he has the attitude like he was in our locker room with an attitude. Done.
It wouldn't have worked over there at all.
Done.
Yeah.
They'd beat the shit out of you every night. No, they
No,
would've.
I believe it. They would
What's this American doing coming over here trying to take a job of ours?
Right?
And he's not cool.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. So overall, what did you think of this match, Hack?
Wait a minute, hold on. I got
You got
another
anything
one.
else here?
The finish was convoluted. Did we
Yeah.
go over that?
Yes.
All right, so they did have some great timing in some spots. And I got DDP heel right here. Why did I write that?
DDP was a heel at this point. So I don't
Okay.
know if you were enjoying his heel work or if you were confused by it.
No, I was confused by it because I don't, you know what I mean? Because wasn't it like 6 months before this, him and Chavo were tearing down the house?
That was in 97.
Oh, that
Back
was
when
that? All right.
Yeah, it was a while back before that, 96,
I
97.
didn't
when he was
realize. How
Chavo.
did DDP turn heel?
It was some weird thing where he like joined up with Flair and stuff. It was
Another one of those booking gimmicks?
yeah, it was. If you remember on the Spring Stampede show we covered, he won the world title for the first time, and that was just 2 months before this. And he went from that to then being a tag champion. The booking's horrible at this point.
It was awkward in the match because DDP, Bigelow, and Canyon are coming out like his heel, but then you notice Benoit and Saturn are coming out in this like low music, no cheer. They're also getting heel, but then they're getting the heat, and Perry's like beating the turnbuckle, like trying to get like
Nobody's
people
got it.
involved, and like nobody's getting involed. There was no heel and there was no baby in the match.
Yeah, everything was
You know
off.
what I'm saying?
Everything
Like-
was off about it. It just wasn't good. I would go 2.5 stars on it. Ollie, what do you give this match?
1.
1. Ty?
One.
Hack?
I'm abstaining.
Abstaining again? I love it.
Refuses to bury a single thing.
I love it. This guy's such a worker right now. He's if you want to see somebody really working, listen to Hack star ratings because he never wants to run into somebody at a convention here. Yo, you buried me on your show. Nope. I abstained and I
I'm
gave you-
begging him to even listen.
Yes.
Everybody tell somebody about it. If you're listening now, hashtag any other wrestler you know.
Okay.
Especially Taz.
Especially Taz. We love you, Taz. You're very tall again, too. Up next on the show was the main event of the show.
Oh, yay.
Kevin Nash and
Yikes.
Randy Savage. Yikes is right, Ollie. Like, this is the main event. People have sat through
The
the
best
show.
part was looking at Gorgeous George.
Hell yeah, it was, man. Gorgeous George, Gorgeous George had it going on. Macho Man was winning. I don't care if his work rate sucked. This man was winning in life right now at this point. He had Gorgeous George on his arm.
And she was a great chick.
She was
I
cool.
spent a long night with her. Yeah, not a sexual thing or
Oh.
whatever. It was a drunk
Hey,
thing.
now.
You know what I mean? But she was really cool. She got it. You know what I mean? So, was the other chick there? We know it was her, Alundra. Was the other chick Molly Holly?
Yes, it was.
All
Yes,
right.
it was. That's a good call by you, Hack. Yeah. So that was part
And
of like,
she could work her ass off, too.
I think she took the biggest bumps in this match.
Well, obviously. George couldn't even jump on Nash's back. Just see how late it was?
God.
It was
Yeah,
supposed to
tits
be
were
an
weighing her
over,
down.
an over-the-shoulder thing. What?
I said her tits were weighing her down.
Well, she's used to jumping on stuff much smaller.
Well, dude, her story is, wasn't she like a waitress somewhere, and Randy met her there? Next thing you know, they were going out. Something
that's
like
Hey,
that.
who's Randy?
Macho Man, right? He's friends with him, so he's first name basis
All
with
right,
him.
I'm not friends with Randy.
Macho
All right,
Man.
I love for her to be my
Call us
waitress.
from the grave, Randy.
Yo, Randy,
Oh, dude.
call us in, Macho Man. We need that dude.
Oh, yeah.
She was a waitress at my Waffle House. Yeah.
Dude, all right, so I'm going to have to make sure we get to the one listener question after both of you guys have done a Macho Man impression today. What did you guys think of this match, man? Because there was nothing special going on here. in my book.
They're raving about how bad Nash's ribs are, and he comes out and he's throwing these high knees with his middle rib cage hitting Randy, and then he's throwing these hip thrusts, and then I think he finally realized that he's supposed to sell his ribs halfway through the 9-minute match that they had. But
that's everybody, every time, everywhere.
No, yeah.
But
I
I
hear
know I've broken 5 ribs, broke 2, saving my grandson out back a couple months ago. Just so you know, that's the story that I'm sticking to.
AKA tripping over a trash can lid.
That almost sending my son into the hospital.
Into a coma.
No, I was saving my grandson from myself, but I didn't really need to tell you that.
Yet squashing him in the grass, and he actually gets up and goes, "Oh, that hurt." No, sold you like a mother.
I was a little bit pissed about that.
I don't know. What did you guys think of the finish too with Sid running in? I thought it sucked.
I don't understand it because I don't get the context of why Sid's running in.
Sid was not in the company at this time. This was his re-debut in WCW.
And the reason why he was
in
fired
ECW.
was because he no-showed a pay-per-view because he wanted to play softball.
No, actually,
Maybe not
My
that
type of
year,
man.
but he no-showed a pay-per-view. He's like semi-main at a pay-per-view, Ollie, and he was like, "I'm playing softball this weekend. I'm not going to the pay-per-view."
that's true about
That's a
Sid.
man.
Yeah,
But my
but what
heart.
year do you think that was?
That was
might
at
have been-
WWF.
Yeah.
So probably like 95, 96.
Could you imagine that, Ollie?
Macho Man had all of his chicks do his high spots. It was
Yeah,
horrible.
they were the
It
big-
was-
they were the biggest bumps in the match.
Yeah, Medusa's coming out kicking them, and then Molly Holly's coming out doing flying shit off the top rope. It was just
Okay, so was that the first time ever of what I figured had maybe Hogan or whatever that somebody kicked out of Macho Man's elbow?
That's a good question.
I know
wanna
when I'm
say-
seeing it and he kicks out, I'm like, I don't think he might be kicking out, and I wasn't there, but
I
well,
can't
Nash
think of
is
a.
doing the booking, so
Yeah, I'm kicking out, brother.
yeah, literally.
I know, and that's what I'm thinking is Randy. But like, why would Randy agree to that if it's never happened before?
I think it probably had happened before,
Yeah,
but
All
I
right,
can't.
somebody that's listening, please call us, do whatever you do now, and let us know.
Okay.
That
Overall,
Macho Man's elbow's been kicked. It had to be Hogan.
to answer your question, Ollie, this is 1999. It's a wrestling war. There's not a whole lot of talent out there that's not signed to either WCW or WWF. Sid was working in ECW at the time, actually.
Oh, so this is just
He
the
was?
re-debut
Yeah.
of...
Yeah, they wanted somebody in this spot. They
Right.
bring in Sid. They give him a big deal, and he gets
Gotcha.
like a big push.
And he's credible as shit.
Oh yeah, Sid's main event.
Yeah, he's big.
You know what I mean?
And there's no clean finish.
No clean finish. You fuck the fans. You give another DQ. Think of all the bad finishes on this show. Like, it's littered with bad finishes.
It's littered with bad everything.
It's a horrible show,
I was
guys.
begrudgingly watching this show.
This show was, I think, easily the.
And it was only like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but it felt long.
Yeah,
man.
when Disco Inferno is the best part of your pay-per-view, I think you have.
I don't know. What does that say for me, you
I thought
losers?
you were the best part, Hack. This show sucked.
You know I ain't ever put
What-
you over.
Overall,
so.
what did you guys think of the show? Ollie,
Yeah, terrible.
terrible. Hack, he gives it a 4. What is? I don't know.
I got a lot of boys on that show.
just
and
likes-
me, myself, too.
And you had fun doing ecstasy with Conan and Ray.
For a whole summer.
There
What
you
a summer.
I mean, Gorgeous George is about a half a star as you get, so I'll give it.
Yeah, she's
So-
worth a half.
so
She's
I'll-
worth a half.
So I'll give it half a star.
If you guys really, if you guys are ever having trouble falling asleep at night, if you just can't
Jerk
fall.
off the gorgeous shorts.
I was gonna say, just watch this show instead. It'll put you right to sleep.
After
It's
you
a
watch the
terrible
first
show.
match, you're good.
with a happy ending, too. Total happy ending.
There we go. Up next on our show next week, guys, we got a really good one. As bad as this show was, we are covering a classic ECW show. That is ECW.
E.
Ooh, E. That's not the
Lions,
name.
tigers, bears. Oh, my.
No, we're covering ECW barbed wire hoodies and choke slams.
That's the shit.
From June 17th, 1995. Hack, you main evented the show against Cactus Jack
Dude, I main
in a
evented
barbed
every
wire
show.
match.
Oh, we're doing the barbed wire.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
It's a great one. So that's our show
I'll
next
tell you what a
week.
puss Cactus was.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
He's kidding.
That
He
dude,
loves-
you could never hurt that dude. He was like Vic Grimes. There's man,
Brian Knobs.
yeah, you could not hurt. You could not hurt Cactus.
Well, it's one hell of a show, and it's one of my favorite ECW show names as well, because that's certainly a great one. As always, you can send us in listener questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. We do have a number to get to here. We have gone a little long, so I'm going to try to run through some of these
Mail
real
time.
quick.
No, who cares? Let's
cares?
relax and take this.
Okay.
They can break it all down when they want to.
Okay, awesome. So up first here is Uncle Howard.
Howard!
Howard! What's up? It's that elegant pimp who makes big money moves, Uncle Howard. You think I'm bullshitting these? This is what he said in his email.
This dude's trying to make a name for himself
Yeah,
on the
he's-
Sandman podcast.
he's-
All right, Uncle Howard.
All right, so this is my address. Email us, and then you can send some of the girls our way.
Okay, he's an elegant pimp too. Hack, you gave Eddie Benoit One Night Stand 4 stars, not because you liked the match, but because you know they were both great performers and capable of better stuff. By that logic, if an otherwise shitty wrestler, cough Jade Cargill, cough, had an improbably good match, would you still rate her low since her body of work overall sucks?
No.
We've certainly
No.
seen all bad
What?
wrestlers punch above their weight and can kill it on some random occasions.
Great question, but all right, now I'm going to ask you. Is Jade Cargill working with one of the best Japanese girls on the planet? Is Jade Cargill working with, who's the other girl that I said earlier? The Scottish girl.
Piper.
Yeah. It depends on who she's working with, because she can get carried easily, but that doesn't mean that she's still any better. You know what I mean? But it's a great question. Did I answer that?
Or
You kind of did, but
or
not.
if she was working with Francine, would she still get a 4-star?
Well, Francine's not a worker, so there
Yeah, but she's one of your people, so you're
no.
only giving a 4-star.
He's calling you out
No,
for your
what was the
stars.
question again? Let me hear the question.
I will read it back to you so we can get your official answer here. You gave Eddie Benoit One Night Stand 4 stars, not because you liked the match, but because you know they were both great performers and capable of better
Yeah,
stuff.
okay. All right. I stand by my answer. It depends on who she's wrestling against. If you put her against a nobody, she's getting way more stars for me than if Bianca's carrying her through a match.
Okay, all right. That's your answer for that one.
I mean against you.
Yes.
Against her, not with her.
Okay. He also has another question. Hack, you're well known to be an adept user of tools. The most valuable tool we all own is our minds. What do you do to keep your intellect sharp? Duolingo?
99 bananas. Keeps me sharp as a tack.
All right. That's your answer there, Uncle Howard. Coming up next is Brian Mills from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. This guy's one of our favorite questions, guys.
Did he
too.
get his daughter back yet?
No, I don't. We haven't asked him at the taping.
All right,
We
good
gotta
job,
ask,
Ollie.
we got to ask you about
he's
taking
got
it,
some
bud.
great skills.
Hello. This is how we started off. Hello, Brian, and the Toshticles. That's what he said.
Oh, I like that.
I'm a tosticle now?
Yeah. I'll be a tosticle. I'll get a t-shirt.
Hope you're doing well. Any chance we can get some more bonus episodes? Yeah, we got to figure out some bonus episodes for you guys. We're going to try to get some.
Give us
in
some
the can.
ideas.
No,
If
we're
you
going to
got
do
any-
some top 5s,
Yeah,
some
we're gonna-
top 10s.
We're going to get some
shit.
stuff in the can for you guys
Hey,
out there
if you
too.
guys got any ideas, if you want to throw them
Well,
out
he
there
gave us
for
the Mount,
idea,
he-
Ty.
this writer, this user, he gave us the Mount Rushmore personal all-time list. That idea.
Which we gotta do
gotta
too.
We still gotta do that on a future
all right,
episode,
yeah,
so.
if you have any other ideas, throw them our way and we'll get them out.
Okay, my question is, if you could book the perfect ECW pay-per-view, everyone is alive and in their prime, no limits, what would that look like? Maybe you could all throw in 2 matches each. Wow. Geez.
Me is me, Sabu. The other one's me, Cactus.
Okay. Those
So
are
you're
your-
working back to back?
Well, he's just
Not like
suggesting...
I ain't never done it before and beat everybody's ass.
I would go...
And beat everybody's ass.
I would go Raven and Tommy with just like 1,000
All
million...
right, there you go.
1,000 million run-ins, and then I'll do a tag match with give me Mikey and Tajiri versus the FBI.
Okay.
All right, I am gonna go in an ECW. I am gonna go a Simon Diamond versus CW Anderson,
Good shit.
and then I will also go a. Wow! I will also go a Rob Van Dam versus Masato Tanaka.
Wow. Okay.
He pulled
that-
that one out of his ass.
I'm going Steve Carino and RVD,
Oh, I like it. Okay.
and then Hack and Sabu.
Okay. All right. So that's our suggestions there.
Well, at
for-
least one of my sons had a clue.
Who, me?
You're such a dick, dude. This question comes in from Darren from
Darren, where
the
you from?
UK.
Where?
The UK.
Where in the UK?
He just said Darren from the UK.
Where?
He just said the UK. Darren,
Where?
you're going to have to tell us again next week. This is a two-parter.
Oh, Jesus.
When did you realize the relaunch wasn't going to work of ECW?
Immediately.
Okay. And what did you think WCW should have done to make the product better for the true ECW fan base?
Nothing. They couldn't. It did nothing.
Nothing.
Well, they weren't going to do anything.
Yeah,
for
why
the true
would
ECW
why would
fan base. They
WCW
were,
cater
No,
to
they-
ECW's fan base?
yeah, they were WCW. They were bigger than them.
Okay. Question from Andrew Lawler from Birmingham, Alabama.
Hey, Jerry Lawler's long lost cousin.
Yeah,
Roll Tide.
or one of his seeds.
Hi, Roll Tide.
I've never wrestled a pro wrestling match in my life, but if I did, would the Sandman give it 4 stars also? That was great. That was
If you
great.
wrestle with one of my buddies, yes, you get 4 stars.
That was great. That was great. Thank you for that, Andrew. Thank you for that.
Andrew, you're the man.
That's good shit, dude.
I kid. I love the show. Real question: how do you guys feel about glass being used in wrestling? I don't care at all. I'm fine with it.
Time and place.
I don't. Yeah. If the glass, like wrestlers using glass in spots.
No, it's
Oh, well,
stupid.
are we talking about
Like light
a
bulbs,
light
light
tube?
tubes,
Yeah, light
or
tube or like a
plates?
window pane.
Light tubes, window panes, any kind of glass.
Dude, okay. Light tubes, the worst back in the day. The worst part about light tubes were because they had this thing called argon in them. It's a gas that's very toxic to humans, and very toxic to our environment. So when you got hit with it, like, you know that powdery puff that you would see, that was straight argon. They changed it after that, but I never liked light tubes, and I've never worked with a pane of glass. Now I would, yes, if it's a windshield to a car, but you have to understand, a windshield to a car breaks differently than a pane of glass. A pane of glass will break in shards. A windshield to a car breaks in a web. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I ain't working with a pane of glass. A
It's
pane
just-
of glass could do whatever it does to
It's
you.
too hardcore.
I
for
know, but these dudes are doing it all the time.
They're doing
now.
it all the
Like,
time now.
It comes across my timeline. I'm like, seriously, guys?
I have no problem with it.
27 people in the crowd.
I've seen deathmatch wrestling. I love it. I'm a fan of it. I
Yeah,
think,
well, you're a loser.
I think if the performers are down with it, as long as the promoter is not pressuring them
Okay,
into doing it.
so if somebody got killed in one of those things, would that change your view?
You mean one of the performers or fans?
Performer. Oh, all right. Well, no, performance is what I'm talking about.
I think performers make a choice when they perform about taking the risk of
Okay,
it.
suppose 3 guys got killed in a 5-year period.
I think that should be something you should reconsider. But we've seen deaths in wrestling for
Yeah, but they were drugs. They were.
No. We've
All right,
seen in the ring
I mean, once
accidents.
Owen fell out of the ceiling, that's
No.
another hack story.
How about Pierre Aguirre Jr. and Rey Mysterio in Mexico? He takes a little spot on the ropes and breaks his neck and dies. And that's a routine thing in a spot. But everything you guys do in the ring is extremely dangerous. And you can get hurt doing...
Like I tell you, you got to trust people. When both you two are standing on the top rope in the corner, if you fall right there, who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Yeah, like everything you do in the business is super dangerous and could end your life at any moment. And like you said, the trust and everything that you're in there with your dance partner is huge. But to me, it's like as a performer, if you're okay with it and the promoter's not pressuring you to do it, I don't have a problem with people using glass.
All right, so what we should do is Because I remember when the Guinness Book of World Records used to be on. Somebody contact us next week and Google Guinness Book of World Records, because one of their records was a guy going through like 120 light tubes off a ladder. That's a piece of cake.
I was just gonna say,
would break that in a
I
second.
do that right now?
I know. Yeah.
Seriously,
Can we go get light tubes?
Yeah, so somebody
throw
please
the dude
Google
down,
that.
like throw me down the well, like.
Somebody do the first hack check.
Okay.
The first hack check.
Ollie, how do you feel about glass in wrestling?
Like I said, time and place. If there's a right match for it, and like the Hangman Swerve match, for example, like I'm fine with it, using it there. Like I think that's a perfect way to use it.
If it's been built up. For
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but what kind of glass are you talking about?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Fake?
Fake or real.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. I think it's cool. Like, it looks cool. And
Do
as long as the performers are cool with it, I'm cool with it. This is a great question here. Up next, Rob Mason. Okay?
Robbie.
From West Philadelphia.
Born and raised.
Robbie.
West Philly.
He's around Swanson and Rittner.
What's up, hardcore hack in the Sandlot? That's what he said.
Like that?
I like that too. My favorite part of wrestling podcasts and documentaries are wrestlers telling Macho Man stories and doing the Macho Man voice. My question is,
And I just happened to do that
And so
tonight.
did
Yeah,
Ty.
the worst one.
My question is, does the Sandman have Macho Man stories, or could listeners please be treated to the Sandman's best impression of the Macho Man? Well, you guys already got to hear it, so any stories of Macho Man?
No, I remember Todd Gordon I met Todd Gordon before like ECW. He was started before when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. So I knew a guy that I wrestled with, and I went down to Texas. Todd sent me down to Texas to drive back a ring. So, but I knew also that between where I was picking it up in Texas and Philly, they would be, I think it was Evansville, Indiana.
Who's they?
USWA.
Okay.
Like right before they close.
Okay.
So I made sure I was there on a Wednesday night. It was Kurt Hennig's on my right, like Macho Man's on my left. You would do a shot, and Kurt would chop the shit out of you right there at the bar.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, he lit me up a couple times. Right there, the Macho Man. It's like, oh yeah, dig it.
And then you're hanging out with the Macho Man at the bar while
Yeah, but it
shopping
wasn't
you?
like we were talking at all.
Right.
You know, that was a happenstance.
Okay.
And
all right.
what, you were just like a run-in like fan at that point?
No, I had already been there in the USWA, and it was after I came back
So
that
this
I
is
went
like
to get
92,
to the ring
93?
in Kansas City.
This is like
You're
93?
saying you would do a shot like you would like run in and do.
Oh no, a shot at the bar. I didn't get there until they were at the bar. I didn't make the shot.
Okay. And he also writes, if you want to get real fancy, could the entire panel do their best Macho Man voice and possibly have the listener vote and decide who should be crowned the Macho Voice King? All right, we already heard Hack, Ty. Ooh, yeah.
That's horrible.
Okay. Ollie?
Ooh yeah. That's worse.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try to go here. The cream of the crop. Yeah, brother. The cream of the crop.
That's not bad.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, now let me do mine.
good.
All right, let's do yours.
You, Kevin Nash, are a stupid human being.
It sounds like Mr. Miyagi.
That has to take a shit.
Are you constipated, Mach? You good, Mach? Yo, Mach, you might need to smoke a cig and have a cup of coffee.
Vote.
Yeah, vote. Tell us who you guys thought. Who you thought had the best Macho voice. Up next, as always, Kevin from Dayton, Ohio writes in. Kevin. Hack, while working in WCW, was there any point where you decided that these people had no idea what they were doing? If
Didn't
it
care.
was,
They were paying me 5 G's a week. I was happy, and I knew it was only going to last for a certain amount of time. But I thought I could hide longer.
but
No, seriously, because there's dudes like Brad Armstrong that's going in. And I didn't see him.
Is that
like,
the dude on the 96 Bulls?
Yeah.
that's BJ Armstrong.
No, Brad, one of the Armstrongs,
Yeah, he's one of the Armstrong, dude.
He
Bullet
shows
Bob
up. I haven't seen. I've probably been there. It's just like we started doing me and Bigelow in March, so it's probably about June. Brad shows up shit faced on Somas. He's walking down. I just get there. He's walking down the hallway, stumbling all over the place, and I'm like, dude. Are you good? What are you doing? Why didn't we go hide? And he's like, no, I don't care. I got a guarantee contract.
That was it?
But, yeah, and he's like, yo, there's a lot more than just me that have ones.
Okay.
Like, he's like, there's 20 other guys that we were paying that were on. They lost $70 million for a reason on year. You know what I mean? He's like, you wouldn't believe. And then I was talking to Conan later. He's like, yeah, dude, there's dudes that you're never going to see that are making money.
But to Kevin's question, was there any point where you're like, man, these guys have no idea what they're doing?
No, I knew when I got there.
Day one.
Well, except Nash. I knew my shit was fine just because all I care about is my shit. You know what I mean? But otherwise, I'm just like, man, this is...
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I wasn't even really paying attention. I wouldn't watch the show. I wouldn't even watch my own matches then. I would never see it. I hate myself watching my matches.
Like you're getting to a company and like they're putting you over, but like you have no expectations, you have no overlook on the company
No, I know
itself.
there's a glass ceiling. I hit the glass ceiling
Even
when
though it was WCW and like you were moving up.
Yeah, but there was a glass ceiling there, and there was nobody. And you weren't breaking it because you never even saw it because they weren't around.
Okay. As always, send us in listener questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at the Sandmanpod and sandmanpod.com or Sandmanpod on Twitter. Send us in questions. Follow us on YouTube. We got a lot of cool stuff coming out on YouTube as well.
Yo, check me out on a Cameo.
Yeah, check him out on Cameo. Get a cameo from Hack. And by the way, guys,
He does the best cameos, honestly. He'll be sitting in the kitchen, I'll be listening to his fucking cameos, and he's shouting people out, saying the best things. Like, dude, he really goes in depth. He actually writes down notes, and he takes these stuff in. So if you want a cameo, check him out, because it's actually legit. It's coming back. It's real.
Yeah, but if you get longer than like me saying something for like 12 seconds straight, you're done.
the one thing I want to say, too, like, share, and review the show. Review the show. We are going to give you a shout out from Hack on our Instagram for our 100th review. So whoever gets that 100th review, Hack is going to give you a shout out on our IG. A personal shout out. And that's like basically a free cameo.
I'll be like, yo, dude, you good?
No, we're also going to
say
we're also going to send you some cool shit too. So whoever gets that 100th review for us, we're going to send you something and get a shout out from Hack.
So where are we at right now? Reviews?
I think we have 32, so we got a ways to go.
All right,
guys.
so but you're not allowed to give like 10 reviews, are you? Like the Philadelphia Phillies fans are stuffing the ballot box and all the Phillies.
These are all individual reviews that have to be posted. So.
Yeah, it's got to be legit. We have some like merch.
Oh, what? Our AI? Make sure they know
No, we monitor. We got some stuff sitting around. We can mail it out to you. We'll get you on your review, and then we'll contact you, and we'll see. We got
you're
some
paid
merch.
for the postage.
Oh God, this guy's just got everything.
Fuck.
Yeah, we got everything going out. We got some new stuff that just came in, and then we got that merch. We got
that merch dropping. We just listen, not to tease you guys, but listen.
Hey, I did love the first draft.
Oh, shut up! You're kidding, dude. Get out of here. We love it. It's going to be great.
Skulls are over.
Stop. So anyway, send us in questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. Send us in your reviews. And as always, Hack, the Cane of the Week and the Toast of the Week.
This is easy this week. There's only one. It's Willie Mays, and I'll just let Ty and I'll overtake him from here to give you some stats about him.
The Toast of the Week is Willie Mays, and yes, it's rightfully deserved. I only have one gripe, and it's not with Willie Mays himself, but we have video footage of Willie Mays playing stickball.
But none of Wilt's 100-point game. Something's real fishy about that, huh, Hack?
I'm sitting here, and I'm officially announcing to myself that I now believe that Wilt never scored 100 points.
Stop! I can't believe that. No, he did.
Wilt never scored 100 points. I believe it's fake. You have multiple video angles of Willie Mays playing stickball in the street.
The game was in Hershey. They didn't have a camera crew up there or anything. That's why.
Nope. I'm making this claim to fame. I'm stealing Hack's toast of the week. That
Somebody would have made a deathbed confession, the hometown scorer in Hershey.
Yes, I agree, Hack.
Nope,
It
I
never
think
happened.
everybody is in on it. The cahoots
It's a
is
fucking
real.
hoax.
No,
It
this
never
ain't-
There is
stop.
no way.
Yeah.
There is no way.
Joel Embiid would have Wilt Chamberlain in a fucking torture rack.
Stop! Don't say that. We are not advocating for that on this podcast.
There is so
Absolutely
much
not.
there is so much video of Willie Mays, and yet we can't get one video clip of Wilt's 100-point game. Is all I'm saying.
I'm going to argue with these guys off air. Catch us next week for ECW.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's
Okay, I need everybody to listen right now. Back in those days, there was a reason why there was a camera on every game in the MLB. Because it was our national pastime and had been for like 70 years. The NBA was nowhere, nobody even knew about them back then.
Yes.
No reason for them for a camera like crew covering an MLB game to cover an NBA game.
Talk to him, Hack.
Willie Mays was coming out of his local beastery or whatever the hell you
Talking
call it.
bestiality?
Bistro.
His
Bestiality?
Yo, fat.
The bodega.
That took a
his local bodega.
Why did you get so happy when you thought he was possibly talking bestiality too? You were
Because
like,
there was something in the news right now.
Because he was doing those vapor rubs with Conan in them. Because that's where he was at.
what? I don't want to know what's in the news about
in the
bestiality.
news, there was like this school bus that had a hitch on it, and it had like a hitch for animals. It got pulled over, and it turned out all the animals in the back were getting used for bestiality films. They were going somewhere to do it like a shoot.
Well, they deserve the cane of the week for that one. Jesus Christ.
Why? Why would I cane bestiality people?
It's disgusting. What the fuck are you talking
You never
about?
been to a donkey show?
No, I haven't. I'm good on that, bro.
And on that, Wilt never scored 100 points.
Wow. And we will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Ain't it foggy outside? All the planes have been